Absolute Batman is the most popular new character in comics. And he's so popular, the book is so popular, that there's speculation, there's this idea that there is an absolute Batman effect. That being that absolute Batman is so popular,
Oh,
such a juggernaut, that it is leading to sales for books that aren't even published by DC. That it's causing a branch out that's leading to the sales of books like Dork, White Sky, Tiger's Island, all these books selling out. Is it a result of Absolute Batman? Here to have the conversation, of course, we've got Marco,
Celsius.
Tyler,
see, when you mentioned the absolute Batman effect, I thought you were talking about all the characters getting abnormally swole, which is what I was excited for. But this makes a lot of sense too.
and I'm Sean. Thank you for being here, whether you are live or in the future. We've already got some gifted memberships.
Woohoo.
Love to see that.
Entertain me. We got James Abel, Into Face, Land of Van Halen, Peak Exposure, and Spectonominus. Enjoy those. Put those heads in the chat. And also shout out to Paul Powerhouse Smith, who has joined the Comics Pal Sidecast here on YouTube. Thank you.
Love
Yeah.
it. Thank you
Oh,
so much.
also got a great comment here from Zenith Flair saying, "Who are these handsome guys in Marco?"
Hey,
Oh, shit.
yikes. I wore a nice shirt today.
Yeah. Marco's streaming live from Havana.
That's right.
Word. It looks like Marco got here just after doing some lines.
He got lost
On
on the
my
flotilla for a while, but he finally made it back.
yeah, on the Miami Strip.
What's up, chat? What is up? Love to see you guys always. Every fucking Saturday morning is made by you guys being here. DC Crane says, first time tuning in live. Thanks for the fun discussion. As always. Thanks, Crane.
Let's
Appreciate you.
go.
Appreciate you so much. And of course, MZ Abrams, thank you for the kind words about my haircut. I can't always look like a werewolf. Electrics with the 50 SEK. Yo, pals. Regarding the title of this episode, I'm game hearing you out. However, I would have made Bat Savior work. Don't worry, I haven't copywritten it. Hint.
Would your copyright count in the US if you, I don't know how international copyright works.
Sure it does. Nintendo's litigious, so
It's very true. Okay, good point.
Yeah. But doesn't Nintendo have an American, like Nintendo of America?
that is a fair point. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you though, Electrics. And that's a good reminder that the goal is up in the chat for us to play the GOAT game here a little bit later. Hopefully you guys get us across our goal. You tend to. We've only missed it once, so let's not miss it today. All right. Let's get into the main topic, shall we? Absolute Batman effect. So, Rich Johnston over at Bleeding Cool, who I think does a lot of great work reporting and also just, thinking. He wrote an article about something that's been on my mind for a long time. I have a note that says Absolute Batman is the most popular new character, and here's why that's a problem. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
Mm.
And Rich Johnston gave us the ability to do that. So here's what Rich's article suggests. Quote, it was Scott Snyder who credited much of the success of Absolute Batman and the Absolute Universe to taking a creator-owned approach to the characters, even though they didn't actually own them, and seemingly opening up the modern direct comics market to new, younger readers and reviving the collector and speculator market looking for the next hot thing. But then, what of the actual creator-owned or even just creator participant titles? Well, Image Comics seems to be right there for that new audience too, and doing it with far fewer retailer exclusive covers. I've been hearing from multiple sources and inside of Image Comics, the biggest publisher of creator-owned comics, that for the next month of titles, both Kurt Pyers, Franklin Jonas, and Patrick Mulholland's Fireborn #1 and Skybound's Corpse Knight #1 by Michael Chaves and Matthew Roberts each launched with retailer orders of 70,000, joining numerous launches this year out of Image that have hit big at final order cutoff and triggered both multiple sellouts and multiple reprints. But even more interesting is that we're hearing from within Image about sales trends beyond #1 and multiple series bucking attrition. Tigress Island #2 orders and Narco 2 orders exceeded that of their first sellout issue orders, and Malevolent 3 orders exceeded that of its issue 2. But the rising tide reaches even farther than just those second issues. I'm hearing from sources that Ice Cream Man 45 orders came in above 44. Red Coat, same thing. Todd McFarlane's The Scorched, same thing, with issue 50 having 150,000 orders at final order cutoff.
Of Scorched?
Yeah.
Oh. That's good for a mid-tier Spawn book.
An ancillary mid-tier Spawn book.
In the middle of a run. Huh.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
And I'm going to read this last bit before we leave the article. This is all on the close heels of the Dork and White Sky breakout sales numbers, which are apparently still going up. And I understand that Dork 3 had higher orders than both 1 and 2. This is the kind of thing I think DC expected from its Vertigo revamp, given all the previews and absolute titles. And it worked a bit with Bleeding Hearts, sure, but it seems a little anemic compared to where Image, Mad Cave, Vault, Oni, and even AMP have found new readers recently.
Okay, there's a couple things there.
Yeah, go for it.
The first thing that jumps out to me is the progressive increase in sales per each issue. They only have ancillary data from issue 3, but at least issue 2 for a lot of these books is selling more than issue 1, which makes me think that the typical speculator boom that wants a #1, it maybe isn't the typical speculator boom. You know, maybe it's not a speculator boom, and maybe people are actually reading these books. I don't know. It's weird because I would have just expected to see a bump in the first issue, and then a subsequent drop in the following issues. But apparently, it's not that, which is good to see.
I think that's a good. I think that's a fair point because you would you would expect to see that continue to dwindle, at a sharp curve. But the fact that it's going up on a second issue, maybe even a third issue, means that pool of potential reader is the pool of the purchaser, right? And to not distinguish necessarily between reader and between speculator, let's say, the purchaser therein is larger than you would get on the outset. And it's an interesting market because I would assume you don't want to launch big with a #1 if you're an indie like that. And so, to what degree is it a combination of buzz and FOMO that is driving people to come pick up the subsequent issues, kind of come back and stick around? I wish we had that data to parse that out, because then I think that would indicate that this isn't speculator, and even more so, back issues. Like to what degree there are a higher number of back issues versus those that are just kind of selling around might also lend to the story one way or the other, either the speculator or an actual expansion of reader base.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very, very interesting subject that doesn't necessarily have a concrete answer. But there is one thing I'm sure of, which is that Absolute Batman is the biggest deal in mainstream comics, and it is having an effect. But what is that effect actually? Let's talk about the initial wave of books that, were massive this year. I'm talking about Dork, White Sky, and Tigress Island. That's where we really started to talk about, hey, whoa, there's some buzz about these
Yeah.
indie books. What's going on?
Would you lump Beast what is it? Battle Beast into that?
No, I think
It's
Battle
previous
Beast
to that, yeah.
is,
Okay.
yeah,
And it has its own reason for hype too.
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
an IP book at this point.
Okay.
I have read them all.
Mhm.
I don't think that most people have, because I think Dork is great. I think that's going to be the new um big indie title.
Yeah.
I think it has massive appeal.
Out of those three, that's the one I like the most. Yeah.
But Tiger's Island and White Sky, I like Tiger's Island, but it's not like it's some new classic. These are White Sky wasn't even good. These are
Mhm.
basic run of the mill stuff, and we're seeing these kinds of numbers. I don't believe in those numbers,
Mm.
in the sense that I don't believe those numbers reflect an audience. I believe those numbers reflect speculation and hype. And it's too early for me, in my mind, to buy into it, because why do these books have such high orders so early? Because we understand that to get issues to for 2 and 3, you generally are on FOC when the first one comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. There's a long lead time there.
The reprints are definitely due to the level of sales. I'm sure of that. But the orders for issues 2 and 3, based on my understanding, couldn't be.
You think it's just because of the orders or the demand for one that shops have been seeing?
I feel that way.
Hmm.
I feel that way. And like, I see it even happening in our community, where people who don't necessarily even care about these books are going and buying them. And I see Coltrane says spec market is not peaking number 3 or later issues. Oh yeah? Well, let's talk about the Absolute Batman effect again. Absolute Batman sales have been tremendous across the board, from issues 1 all the way to now, 18. No one would think that was possible. If you have a copy of first print of Absolute Batman 1 through 18, you have money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So are you saying that these sales are not comic books, they're collectibles?
I believe that when it comes to these indie titles that are popping off, I think that is where it's coming from. And the correlation that I'm making is Absolute Batman being able to sell that well into its tens
Hmm.
may be teaching people that these books are worth more than just their first issue.
I see. I see.
Okay. And so let's say you have an issue number 1, 10th printing that makes of Absolute Batman, that makes issue 1, printing 1, that much more valuable, that much more expensive, and that much more of an investment. And that bleeds out into the subsequent issues that we get for Absolute Batman. Or conversely, you take that and you apply that to Dork. Dork number 1 had a low print run. Now that more people are trying to catch on to it, that issue 1 of Dork is that much more valuable when you resell it. Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the idea is that people aren't just collecting issue 1.
Right.
There's
And so,
want for a completionist kind of idea of getting every issue. I think this is also an invincible effect too. I think the cartoon introducing people to Image Comics and the Invincible stuff, I think is maybe why a lot of this is focused on Image currently. Sure, I think Absolute Batman is the core reason, but I think there's I guess a brand recognition to Image at this point as a place that has really good independent books outside of like us knowing that.
I don't know that it's that, just because maybe I always downplay the effect of TV to TV, big screen to comics reading. I wonder if this isn't something similar to, and I'm going to use myself as the example, but New 52 and the 2010s image boom, where as an incoming reader to DC for New 52, I also found my way into other titles where I was just picking up number ones from Image for the very sake of the fact that they were independent Image number ones that typically all were coming from creators who were of high quality, high caliber, and I wonder if there's a similar effect where people are testing out all of these new number ones, all of these series, but there's a difference in the type of creator. The creator in the 2010s were people who left the big two for this kind of independent success, where these individuals who are kind of making their bread and butter on the indie space. Because Brett Booth has been around, but
I I don't buy the Image thing because I don't think that people know to associate Invincible or even The Walking Dead specifically with Image Comics.
Mm.
Um, and the Invincible series has been around for some time, and we're only seeing this now. So
mm,
and also Chip Crisper, who dropped 5 on us, says, "Hey boys, I almost got caught in the FOMO until I read White Sky. Woof, it's not bad, just mid. I have no interest in Dork, but the spec boom is sus." That's a great comment. Thank you, Chip. And then there was another one that I really wanted to read that I don't see. Yeah, Game Master said there has been a line when my store opens every week since Dork came out. Before that, it was the same 5 people at 10 a.m. And why? How many of them, how many of these people cared about White Sky
I,
as its own thing, divorced from any type of FOMO or speculation or anything like that? How many people actually cared about Dork, White Sky, or Tigress Island?
Even me, a tapped in comic reader that has comic book podcasts, White Sky was not on my radar.
It's just very hard for me to believe that all of a sudden, whether they're new readers or lapsed readers, whatever you want to attribute it to, the behavior does not feel representative of what you would anticipate historically.
It's funny here. Neon Knight says a year ago we were talking about how Power Fantasy wasn't selling well.
yeah,
A
yeah.
year, try this year, January, not even 1 year. Kieran Gillen was talking about it himself in his newsletter and on interviews he did.
Then how do we square the last bit here where they talk about the Vertigo books just not rising as much with these tides?
Yeah.
That's the fucky part for me. That's the one they actually put marketing effort in to try and boost sales on.
It's interesting for that one because I've also just felt that the excitement around the Vertigo titles hasn't necessarily been there. Not that there
Hmm.
aren't good creators, not that there isn't excitement about them writing their own series, but compared to a White Sky, compared to a Dork, compared to a Narco, that same momentum wasn't captured. And I think I wonder if it's not Vertigo is still a kind of legacy title connected to DC. And if I'm going to expand my palette, I'm not going to stay in the DC sandbox. And maybe that's a miscalculation on the part of DC, that there is a willingness to explore beyond the bounds of the same publisher. And in this case, Image has an offering that is similar to Vertigo, but has had a longer standing in recent memory. These are all issue ones compared to, well, Image has been putting out issue ones in this space, in the environment of this boom for the past 2 to 3 years. And now Vertigo feels like a newer player. So there's less interest there.
Yeah, I think that wrinkle of it is very compelling. I didn't expect that DC wouldn't be the ones to benefit from what they essentially started.
Yeah.
And I don't think DC anticipated this either. These Vertigo titles have had almost no impact.
Which is wild because from activated readers like us, those vertical titles are the ones that have creators that are much more bankable.
Yes,
Most of
exactly.
these new Image ones that are hitting, I could not tell you who is writing or drawing them.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Sorry, Sean.
No, you're
And
good.
that's what I was saying was like compared to the Image boom of the past, this is different. It isn't behind creators. It's behind the potential of the IP.
And what Marco just said is exactly what I hope you all understand. This is purely, in my opinion, driven by speculation.
Hmm.
Because why why are people buying a book by creators they've never heard of before? Maybe not even aware of what the premise is. Why are these books all of a sudden selling out?
Did you guys read Narcos?
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Could
No.
you tell me what it's about?
I have
No.
no clue what it's about.
Exactly.
Oh, I do remember it being a play on narcolepsy.
See, I couldn't tell you that. I thought it was drugs. Maybe it's both.
Could be both.
But like with the marketing around the Vertigo books, and maybe it's because we covered it. I could tell you what those books are about. You know, you tell me the title. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the dinosaur zombie one. You know, so it is weird. It feels antithetical to everything that I believed in terms of speculator stuff.
Well, dude, uh Bleeding Cool points out themselves that DC has been plugging the hell out of these Vertigo books
Yeah.
within the pages of their absolute titles.
Yep.
The books that you assume are the ones that have the newer or lapsed fans, they're seeing these ads directly with preview pages in them, and then they are not going to their store and buying them. Why not?
Yeah.
I wonder it's because it's DC Vertigo. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And again, you don't want to, you already are getting the thing in your publisher. If you're reading Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, you're saying, I've already picked up these titles. Maybe I dipped my toe into mainline. Now I got to dip my toe into this other DC branch. I'm going to spend my comics bucks, over in a more independent space.
Yeah. Let me get this. We got some super chats here. Easy Bake Lovin' with the 10 spot on us. Love that. Thank you. Would you say other major events in comics have had a similar impact on the speculation market? Death of Superman and The Killing Joke, for example. I wasn't alive/reading then, so I'm not familiar.
The most recent, the 2010s Image boom, that was mostly not even an event as much as an exodus of creators that were working on the event books and Marvel books and DC books that decided to do their own stuff. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weirdly different one in my eyes.
Yeah, because that didn't necessarily have an impact on speculation. People were like, okay, this is cool. These are people going into the
Yeah.
Image fold, I guess. But that's Superman for sure. I mean, I have an uncle who has like 3 bagged copies, still because of that moment.
They're worth it.
Easy Bake Love It is making what I believe is an excellent point, which is that we've seen this before. And yeah, if you're talking about outside the big two, this has happened very rarely,
Yep.
and it wasn't happening in the 90s. The speculator boom was based largely around Big Two stuff, and then and Image, to be fair. But Image was a very, very different Image than it is now. But yes, Death of Superman absolutely had that effect. There were certain titles in the 90s that were doing that. And then Samuel Summers hit us with 5 and said, just here to support. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Did it twice.
Thank you, dude.
Amazing.
Remember, you can always make that just 10.
Or it was a double click, which then, oops, but thanks.
Chip Crisper with the $6. I love that.
Ooh.
Absolute Batman is on another level. It's DC. It's worth the hype because it's incredible. Seems like the indies are writing his spiked tendrils for money.
They definitely are feeling
Yeah.
the positive momentum. The energy that has been injected into the industry is unlike anything that's happened in the past few years, if ever in the past 30. It's a renaissance.
I mean, look at the Fireborn #1 variant. It is literally an homage to Absolute Batman.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a bunch of that going on.
Oh, yeah. Toxic Avenger did it. Has Spawn done it yet?
I don't know, but that would be perfect.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, maybe when Rosenberg's on it.
Paul Powerhouse Smith has been a member of the channel for 2 months, a listener for way, way, way longer than that.
OG.
He says, Tyler, love the shirt. Is that Romita Sr. on the art?
Believe so. It says Craven says, I hate Spider-Man, and also Mondays, because he's got
Nice.
a Garfield.
He skinned Garfield.
I think it's a Rico Renzi designed shirt, if I'm right.
That's cool.
Hayden's Hideout with a 10 spot. Thank you so much, brother. Just showing support. Hit the like button and join the Discord if you haven't already. Love that.
Just
Yeah,
watch out for
Discord's
voltage in Discord. I'm gonna throw some sling on you.
He might sling some slang at you.
There it is.
Samuel Summers with $10. Thank you. I finally have a statement. All right, listen now for Samuel Summers' statement.
All right, hear ye.
Absolute Batman and the recent Milestone comic issue from DC crossed over. I had my normie friends beg me to buy them books. It may get them buying more.
They should be buying their own books.
Yeah. Although you're a great friend if you're actually buying your friends' comics. That's cool as hell.
True.
That's what I'm doing.
Sam dropped another 10 on us and said, here, Marco.
Oh my goodness.
He said, here,
What a
damn,
flex.
shut up.
Thank you.
What a fucking flex, dude. We are 8 out of 10 on our goal, by the way, and we haven't even been live for a half an hour yet. This is nuts. Thank you guys so much for that. But getting back to the topic at hand, right? It's interesting to me that we're not seeing this for any. Well, Rich does point out Ice Cream Man having higher orders for 45 than 44, and he does point out Spawn. Are you guys willing to attribute? I'm personally not willing to attribute the sales of Scorched 50 to the absolute Batman effect. Spawn books traditionally do well for themselves. Spawn has a baked-in audience that is never going away. They're not going anywhere.
As much as I try to get them to get away. Jeez.
And in issue 50, it makes sense to me that it would do that. But what about Ice Cream Man? Do you guys think that this is that 45 is benefiting from this Batman effect?
Is 45 the one with that interesting cover on it? Is it because there's a lot of Hitchcock fans there, like Rear Window, and they want that Hitchcock Rear Window cover? That's the reason why I'm buying that issue. So
I think it is.
It is. Yeah, it is. It
yeah.
is.
All right. So at least for me, I will be buying that issue because of that movie. But that's not enough to justify those sales. I mean, no, go ahead, Marco.
Sorry, but recently Ice Cream Man has also been doing, like, in the later issues, not gimmicks, but they've been doing like out of the box things. They had that whole jam issue,
They had the playing cards that Sean, did you get those?
That's right. Yeah, the playing cards.
Yeah. I have it right here.
So there have been marketing tactics deployed that I think otherwise would raise that, like, awareness of the book, so that it would lead to then this to give it a boost. So I do agree that it's it is a combination of external factors related to the way that the books are being positioned in the market. But uh, I'm also of the mind that there are people who have come into the industry that are new readers and that are starting to dip their toes. They're feeling a little brave and they're starting to dip their toes out. And I think that's easier with an independent number one than maybe it is an
Mm.
Ice Cream Man number 45 or a Scorched 50 outside of the landmark of those issues.
The number ones make sense because the younger generation wants to start at a number one.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
um,
everyone does.
yeah, but I think we're okay with starting at a 50 or a 45. You know,
I'm not.
well, if the
I
book
hate doing that.
tells me it's a jumping on point, then I'm
Oh
cool with
yeah.
it. Yeah, but I think because think about like when new readers get in the comics, they're like, man, do I have to read a Spider-Man for number one? No, shut up, don't do that. But I think it's just like the people who are like maybe outside of comics trying to get into it, you know, they think of like manga, they have to start at number one at that. And I think the fact that these things are starting at number one right now for $4, easy in. Um, and I think there's a lot of Gen Z, like younger audience, that is buying comics, buying physical stuff. I have seen a lot more young people in my comic shop. So I wonder if it's just a good confluence of a couple different factors. But it could be. I mean, Steve Canaris here has a pretty good comment. He says, "I read that Gen Zers don't drink or have sex as much as previous generations, so it makes sense they're buying comics."
Yeah. They don't.
That is true. Yep, they're going to church
Southside
more.
Southside Ronin with a 5 spot. Absolute Batman was on shelves, building organic hype for a whole year before it blew up. That's the difference. Love from Chicago. Love right back to you, brother. But I disagree with your premise. Absolute Batman blew up before it even came out. Like
Yeah.
before issue number one dropped, it was already a juggernaut. And the tea leaves were clear when you went on social media in the comic space, and all you saw was people posting fan art of Absolute Batman, people posting, his logo and talking about it. This has been a juggernaut for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's insanity. And then comics are dope with the 5 spot. 10th super chat. Thank you, brother. We got to our goal in under an hour. You guys smashed it.
Hulk smashed
Goat
it.
time. Are we doing goat or woat this time?
We'll decide.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Andrew Dunson with 199. Everyone listen to the direct market deep dive, please. Thank you so much. I feel like the direct market deep dive fucking died a death, just like the direct market is, according to people. And that's a bummer, but I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed it and that you're shouting it out. Thank you.
Yeah, that one's very inside baseball, but I think it's very good and informative. And knowing that really colors in a lot of what's going on in comics in general.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for saying that, Tyler. I will say, though, I'm never doing a deep dive like that again. The numbers
Hey,
did not justify it.
the experiment. Wasn't it
The
supposed to be like
effort
one
was,
episode longer?
yeah, I cut it. I cut
Yeah.
it because it just wasn't performing. The effort was not worth
Sure.
the reward in this case. This has other wrinkles. This story has other wrinkles and tendrils that I want to get into because we talk about the 90s and we talk about the speculator boom of that period. But I want to talk about how things are different now because something is very, very different now than it was at that time. And we're going to get into that in just a second. But right now, I want to take the opportunity to thank the people who make this show possible every week. I'm talking about our patrons, the people who support us over on patreon.com/the comics pals. You guys are amazing, fantastic, and deserve this space of praise every week. Special shout out to our Palsverse legends, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, who is watching us from the kennel with his family. Starcross, Catherine Stars, the Spear of Judgment, James Jumble, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, who has already contributed so much to this episode. The Red Spiral Storm, Jesse and the Juggernaut, Kyle the Zenith Flare, Panda v Panda, Ted Wong, Adam Soulless Smith, Sam the Last Young Renegade, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Entertain Me, Peter Living Lightning Electrics, who's already contributed today, Just Unseen, Shalom Paladin Warburg, Jamzilla, who's getting an origin today, and Cosm the Andric. And thank you to Pals vs. Members, Brian Demolishable, Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth to Go, Marley Manastorm, Slow Flow Damer, Christian Uncaged, The Spear of Justice, Izzy's Issues, Robert Runback, Cashaback, Pete the Dream River Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight the Cosmic Avenger, BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope, who got us across the hump today, The Grand Alchemist, Chop Hard Alchemist, and John Barry Beef. Didn't hear your name, and you're supposed to, you will later on. Thank you. Whew. Can we spin the wheel one time for the one time?
You're wanting that water already?
Yeah, bro. We are almost 150 people rocking with us right now.
What do we got? What do we got? Oh, I don't think. Okay. Which one of you wants to guess?
Oh, the guessing game.
I'll do it.
You'll do it. Okay.
Let's do it quick. Run it quick.
Yeah, let's do it quick. All right, Marco, start asking questions.
Male or female?
I don't know yet. I didn't pull the card. Male. Wait, no, that's yes or no questions. Otherwise, you gotta get me. Sean said quick.
Part of a team?
Sometimes. Yes.
Part of the Fantastic Four?
No. Well, has been actually.
Has been. Ooh, okay, that actually helps a lot.
It does narrow it down significantly.
Yeah. Red in the costume?
Yes.
Spider-Man?
Ooh, no. You fucked up. You fucking loser. Sean, do you have a steal here? He narrowed it down to a point where there's
Ghost
only
Rider.
one. Red Sean in the costume. No, it's not Ghost Rider.
Fuck. Right.
Fantastic Four? Red?
I give up.
Some may say the FF. All right. I think Marco died. Not so hard. He blue screened.
Well, what's the answer?
It is Scott Lang.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marco got before he died. R.I.P. Marco. Pour one out for him if you're drinking.
What a bummer. And look at that pose he's left in.
It looked like he's saying gabagool.
Yeah.
I like how we can make fun of him because he can't defend himself.
Oh my god.
Rip.
He looks like he's saying that.
Why hasn't it dropped yet?
I don't know.
There it is. Okay.
There we go. Samuel Summers with a 5 spot. I enjoyed all of the deep dives. I guess I'll just watch it again.
Oh, first 25? Is that what we're doing? Yeah. Oop.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you,
cool.
thank you.
Sorry, short. You got muted there for a second, Sean, when I switched to the 2 spot, but you're fixed now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I was just saying, I was just reading Chop Harder's. Did you guys hear me reading
They didn't
Samuel
hear that.
Summers?
No.
Okay. All right, cool. So Samuel Summers with a 5 spot said, I enjoyed all the deep dives. I guess I'll just watch it again. Also, when is the next sponsor book club? That is New X-Men, which is happening on the 14th of April. The first 25 issues, so you guys have a little bit of time to get in there and read that. And then Chop Harder Alchemist has been a channel member for 15 months at the VI Pal tier. Morning Pals, thanks for the entertainment while I'm working this morning. Cheers. Thank you. You're very welcome, brother. Now, there's another wrinkle that I want to get into, the Medler strikes. Oh shit, the Medler's affecting the pod now? That's crazy. The question or the thought that I have is things are really different now. In the 90s, Yes, the internet was absolutely a thing. Yes, forums were absolutely a thing. But what we didn't have was whatnot. We did not have
Lucky.
online ways on a massive scale to sell your books, to sell the books that were representative of speculation. It's so much larger now, the ability and the marketplace for comics online, that it has increased. Video denial of service, DDoS.
He literally screenshot a message from his ISP saying internet's just done. It's not going to work for you.
Oh, it said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is a two-man show now.
These things got Wi-Fi on them.
Okay, true.
That's
Wow.
why I got us all the same computer, Sean. I know how they work.
Hell yeah. I've personally never been on whatnot, but I know how it works. And I know that so many people are selling, these issues on whatnot and making bank.
It's funny. Hayden just showed us a screenshot in the Discord. Hayden will be doing post pals on Discord. He's going to be doing some Daredevil blind bag unbaggings. But somebody just Whatnot streamer just pulled the John Bernthal sketch variant. So they're on Whatnot streaming. If you ever see like on TikTok those card openings, it's a lot like that. And the blind bags is really something that appeals to Whatnot streamers.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It fuels that perfectly. And I'm not, when it comes to blind bags, like, all right, fine, whatever. But when it comes to, yeah, whatnot doesn't make me feel good. I don't like the whole thing. But
Yeah.
When it comes to these speculator books, the idea that some young whippersnapper or whatever is going to their LCS on spec buying White Sky #1 and then going on whatnot or going on eBay and flipping it for like 10 or 20 times the cover price is insane.
Selling it for $40 is 10 times the price.
Yeah. And that's been happening.
Yeah.
One of our own, Chris Covers Comics, bought his copy of White Sky off of eBay. I believe I'm accurate on this, for $20 or $30, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Imagine
I almost bought
that book.
I almost bought that. I almost bought that for Absolute Batman because I don't have issue 1.
I did for Absolute Batman because I fucking
yeah.
spilled my steak sauce juice on my copy. I had to go and buy. I spent $20.
Sean, let's spin it nicely. You have the exclusive Killer Croc Chum variant.
Dude, and you know what? A year later, or whatever it is, I'm really glad I bought that fucking Absolute Batman #1 for $20.
Yeah. It's much less than what it is now, right?
Yeah. And it's signed by Scott Snyder.
Oh, sick.
So
sick.
Yeah. Patrick Zay says that shit is 1,000 now.
What?
No way. An Absolute Batman #1 first print.
It can't be that bad.
That's insane. Munster NA says, I've tried Whatnot a long time ago. They do really quick auctions that can either get you a nice deal or absolutely shaft you with a bidding war.
Yeah. I remember one of the big guys and Whatnot is Liefeld, or at least he used to be, where he would do a lot of, he would do sketches on there as well. He would do like these quick, scratch sketches of like a cable or something. And he would sell it for a couple hundred. And we're not even talking like I've seen more elaborate sketches in a book signing, you know what I mean? Like a remark, than these things. These look like he was drawing them on a bar napkin.
Yeah, I definitely think that we are in a space now that is unprecedented because of the ability to sell your comics on a massive scale like this. And it didn't exist before at any other time when we had this kind of boom. Um, and I do believe it's driving sales. I do believe that. No, Adam Smith. No, 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 no. He says serves you right for using steak sauce. I wasn't using steak sauce. I'm talking about the raw juices from the steak. It wasn't even like that, bro. I wasn't even eating in the moment. I had my plate and I fucking
You were
tipped it
you
over.
were in a flow state describing your point, and then you got sidetracked by Adam Smith here. Just to
Because
defend your steak choices.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's the
All
one
right.
thing that will trigger you, Sean, because
Yes.
you don't play about your steak.
I don't. I would never use steak sauce.
Peter Luger
Sorry.
steak sauce is pretty good though.
Marco's back.
Medium rare.
Are you back medium rare? Does that mean you have no pants on? What the fuck does that mean?
I heard steaks. I don't know.
You got the meddler got you, huh?
Yeah, dude. He's reaching out.
Comic Boom 2 brings up an interesting point. The quiet part out loud is just how much of a scam buying comics actually is when you break it down. 95% of comics that sell for over cover price on New Comic Book Day do not hold their value, yet speculation never abates.
I don't understand that. It's like buying a car. The moment it leaves the lot, it loses value. The moment it's in your greasy hands, it loses value.
My hands are greasy. I just had a bacon sausage and egg before the show.
Oh no, dude.
We'll talk about bacon, egg, and cheese later in the show. Yeah. I wonder if okay, let me be a little nuts in public real quick. I wonder if this speculator market just proves how little commodity that the American public has. Like, if you can't afford to buy a house, afford to buy a car, you can afford to buy your treats. And maybe those treats will be your retirement one day because it ain't actually going to have a real retirement. I wonder if it's like the stocks for the poor man, you know?
Just buy stocks then.
Well, like I can only use my calcium money for that, and all my parlays have been fucked. Like I think the way money works now in general is fucked across the board. That
Dude.
doing another speculator boom right now in the big 2026, the way everything else uses money makes 100% sense to me. Because it's messy. Because everything is messy with money right now.
What? Like, you could be, and no shade to creators if you're making your money, make your money. But you could be, let's just say someone who I know hasn't done it. Let's say you're Jorge Jimenez, right? And you're the top artist in comics.
Handsome
pretty
fuck.
much, you're in the top 5. And you decide you're going to go on Whatnot and you're going to sell, your copies of the Batman #1 blind bag with your fucking whatever, your signature, whatever it is. And within seconds, not minutes, not hours, within seconds, every single copy that you put up is gone. And you're selling them at $50 a pop. And you had 100, whatever. You just made, what is that, Marco? $5,000?
Yep.
Yeah. And you can sell them at
seconds.
100 a pop. Like 50 is low for Jimenez. I don't fault the people making these things from getting their money. I question why people are buying it. Because I think like the idea that like, because it always comes down to not, hey, will I enjoy reading this comic? When talking about speculators, it's never, hey, will I enjoy the craft of the comic? Will I enjoy the art of the comic? Will the story really ignite me? It's no, how much money can I make on this? This quick little $4.99. All right, I won't get my Starbucks. Could I flip this later on? And it's just, for me as a fan of the comic book as an art form, the speculator market just kind of bums me out because yes, it's good that these, especially at the current image scene right now, these are unknown artists, unknown writers, or at least not as well known, that are getting money in the space that I think is fucking great. I love to see that, but I don't really see the fan. I mean the fan commitment and creative love for it because it's just for this mysterious maybe a $45 spin I can make on it in 2 months or a month.
If that.
It's just a commodity. It's the art, the fine art world writ small is what it is. And the fine art world pisses me the fuck off.
But I feel like that also, like, the speculator is not reading it for that enjoyment, but the speculator is trying to value the book based on other people's enjoyment of it and that aggregate buzz, and then price that accordingly. So even though they're not reading it, they still need the other people to have fun, enjoy the book, recommend it. There has to be some sort of momentum on it. You can't just buy it and be like, "Oh, cool, this is a shit book." Now people are going to want 100 issue number ones in 4 months.
But if all the speculators are just speculating against speculators, like that could fuel its own self, even though it's not, that bubble will burst, you know?
I despise this, and what all the things that Tyler was just saying are why I'm very dubious of the idea that the absolute Batman effect, as we're discussing it, is a positive. And again, I reiterate, as we are discussing it,
Yeah.
the White Skies of the world, all these books, right? Some of them will survive this, and some won't. I think Dork actually has something to it. But the fact that this is not a creator-driven effort, but a gambling-driven effort, rubs me the wrong fucking way. Some of you might know that I play card games, TCGs. And over the last 6 years, really, five or 6 years.
6, 7.
My mistake. I have seen a lot of people say things like, "Oh, I'm not going to that tournament because the prizing sucks." What that means is I can't make money commensurate to what I want to make off of going to this tournament. Why do you have to make money off of going to have fun?
Where's the love of the game?
Yeah. You're not even, like, if you're a top player, like, I get that. But if you're not, why does it matter? Go have fun. We're done with that. We're done with fun. We're in a post-fun world. Everything we do is not for fun.
Because if I go 3-0, Sean, then how am I having fun?
Well, if you went 3-0, you're undefeated. What do you mean?
Oh, 0-3 then.
The concept of Marco fucking Three Stooging his way into the finals of a TCG tournament.
Southside Rona with the 5 spot. F the spec flip. Rather pay $5 to say the pals are the best channel on the tube. Let your mama know. Thank you, brother.
Which tube?
Really, really appreciate that.
But yeah, you're right though. It's like everything needs to be like, what money can I make out of this? Even like people mentioned Pokemon cards. Like, you ever see those on TikTok? The fucking speculators fighting at the vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching those videos, but it's bad. There's no fun there. And then you mentioned like Lego. Lego prices are so fucking insane. I'm a grown man priced out of Lego sets. You know what emasculating that is? I'm in therapy now, talking to my therapist. Man, I just really wanted that Rivendell Lego set, but I'm too broke for it. Dude, it's really nice. It's the whole shebang. Marco just fucking busted live on air.
The price, holy shit. Yo, the ROI of it all is very much a like post-capitalist. There's even
Yeah.
the like in for all the memes that have been popping up and more recently about it, like the maxing community, like ROI, like
We're not getting
as language
clavicular on
is.
stream, are we?
Yeah, dude, like the very fact that there needs to be something secondary that justifies, right? There is this need for justification for doing these things, as opposed to the appreciation of the medium and materials in which you're interacting with. I think that's sort of the loss of the material, is the uh, lack of appreciation for what it is, and so there has to be a secondary attribute to something digital, let's say, or to something that you're doing online that is
I'm,
translated.
yeah. I mean, Zenith Flare is right. This speculator market feels like gambling because it is.
It is.
And he's saying the sheer amount of gambling that's permeated everything is concerning. I've told my friends this. Everything is gambling now. You can gamble
Yeah.
everywhere. We're streaming on YouTube, but there are places like Kick where people just either gamble like on actual like just virtual slots to thousands of viewers, or they're gambling fucking what's that shooter that Counter-Strike packs or whatever, which again there's a huge market for that. Fucking Kalshi exists. And if you're a listener on Kalshi, a listener who doesn't know what Kalshi is, it's a betting website and app where you could bet on anything. Right now, there is a Lee Zeldin or Todd Blanche who will be the next attorney general. You can bet on politics, which is disgusting. I think there was a bet on how long the State of the Union speech would be.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and then like it ended right at like the bet where if you had bet on that you'd make a lot of money, which like the person controlling the bet or controlling the speech could just do that.
They
Everything
took it.
is gambling now because nobody owns anything. Money is bullshit, and that it's just finally permeating its way into comics. Great job for Brett Bean. You're gonna get your bag, and maybe an animated show out of it. Who knows? But this is just a symptom of such a bigger thing, I feel.
Easy Bake Lovin' and Coltrane both say something that I think is worth discussing as we wind down this portion of the conversation. We have over 160 people. That's insanity. Thank you guys so much for being here. Coltrane says it's part of the market we have to acknowledge. Say what you will, but it gives these books a boost in visibility in conversations they may not have had before. And then Easy Bake Lovin' said, yeah, but the publishers are going to make money either way. But with spec on the rise, they'll make a lot more than the baseline they'd forecasted. Yes, you're both right. But we've been through this before.
Hmm.
Do not forget your history. That's why it's important to know history. That's why the deep dives that we do that aren't always sexy are important. The direct market deep dive is a big piece of this. The 90s saw this too. DC had the money rolling in. Marvel had the money rolling in. Speculators had it rolling in. Comic shops had it rolling in. Everybody was eating good until the second they weren't, and then the market died. 70% of the market was gone almost overnight. If that happens again, we don't have this anymore.
Comic shops are super sensitive to the potential of another bubble bursting. And I've talked to the guys who run my LCS, and I talked about what was it? It was Nectar, right? That was that Vault comic. He was like, yeah, it's a Vault book. I only order two max, maybe three.
Yeah.
And now he's like, I have no idea what to order for number 2. Because that number 1 was one of those ones where speculators got to it. It's found Vault comics somehow. And the idea of just being so like not knowing how much to spend as a shop. And then if you even overspend on one of these books, that could fuck you up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's risk. It's risk for
Yep.
the retailer. It's risk management, right?
Yep.
And you and the speculators on behalf of the market do not inject cash. They inject instability, and that instability then passes on to Tyler's point. what do I do for the next issue? Like, I don't imagine they would have expected issue 2 or issue 3 to sell out because their experience in every other book for, let's say, Dork is it goes down. I should not order as much. I'm either leaving money on the table or I've ordered too much and now I have to eat the cost. And either way, they're losing money. They're losing potential money. And so the it's something that has to be corrected for, but that's the hard part is how do you correct for people's spending habits in an environment that is very much hopeful that in the future things will increase.
Yeah, there's a difference between new readers and speculators. There's a difference between a book having support and people buying it because they think they can make money off of it. Like, is Kurt Pyer's life and career going to change as a result of his new number one having 70K orders? No. But if he can keep that going for
Mhm.
10, 20 issues, then maybe. But there's no evidence. We're too early into these new titles
Yeah.
to know whether that's going to happen or not. But I look at the sales of comics every single week. I see that these books are doing fine. But for how long?
Yeah.
And what happens when they're not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the new hotness, by issue 5 goes from whatever, let's just throw out a number, 100K orders for number 4, and issue 5 comes and actually it's only 20. That's a decision that has to be then made by all parties,
Well,
retailer, publisher, and creators.
I'd argue we figure out what happens in the next month or two. um, Fucking the gas prices are insane, and
Yeah.
when you lose, when you need necessity is where your money goes, and more of that money is going there. Comics is something that's gonna drop off first.
We shall see. We are in very, very interesting times, friends. Very interesting times. And I want what's best for comics. I want this industry to be here when I leave this earth. And I'm not doubting that it will be. I'm wondering the shape it will be in,
Mm.
dependent upon what happens in the next 6 to 12 months. This is unsustainable. Shops suffer when they can't predict what will sell.
Mhm.
And Marco said the word instability. That is exactly the perfect word for this situation. It is unstable and it's dangerous for comic shops.
Yeah.
Individual people cannot order comic books. So the whatnot streamers, they're getting their books from somewhere.
Yeah.
Some of them are big enough though where they can register as a comic shop.
Sure, but
Yeah.
but I'm more talking about people who are going to their shops, buying X amount of number ones, and then going on whatnot and selling them
Yeah.
for double, triple the price of what they paid, quadruple the price.
Yeah. And that's and the game master here has a similar question. 4.99. Do you guys think that shops should be able to sell the new number ones for over cover price on Wednesdays? I've heard of a few that sold Nectar at 15 on New Comic Book Day.
So,
Similar to
yeah,
the Whatnot streamer, I personally think it's slimy to do that. Like
I
you
agree.
that you're selling it, you're buying it at a certain rate. You should be selling it at a commiserate rate because that's the agreement that we have uh as the retailer and as the consumer, right?
It,
So doing that takes advantage of those and takes advantage of the FOMO, especially from the Whatnot streamer. And there was an article a few weeks back where they've been having a lot of issues because they've been breaking street date. And so
yep.
on top of breaking street date, on top of inflating the cost, you're building a market that is inflated only for your needs, not for the need of the consumer. It is an anti-consumer act to do so.
And I think especially when it comes to like new like comic book shops doing that, comic books you could only really get at one place. That's a comic book store. If that comic book store is now not selling it for the price on the cover, that is bad.
Yeah.
It's slimy. The thing is though, like once it becomes a back issue, then they can't. So like if they pocket a couple of these and it's not known about, then I don't want to say no harm, no foul, but they should not be like day one behind I've heard some shops where it's like Nectar #1 was behind the counter for triple the
fuck
price.
that.
Yeah,
Fuck
like that feels bad to me.
So yeah, I mean that would be my last day going to that LCS because that's disgusting. But my LCS had no copies at all of Tigress Island when it came out. But then the week or two following, they had a bunch of the #1 cover A behind the counter for $20 a piece. And my thought was, well, where were these the first week the book dropped? How do you have first printing cover A still if you didn't have them before? Where did these come from?
And that's the biggest comic shop on the East Coast. That's shady as fuck. I mean, yeah, there's probably more Tigress Islands that were at the warehouse that you can order. That Wednesday is not the last day you can get that book. They can still see if there's more in the warehouse, and sometimes there are. And especially a publisher that big that has direct ties to a distributor, they could probably get those pretty quickly. But selling them right away at fucking $20 is oof.
Wait.
And at my LCS, all the new Image #1s are now behind the counter.
Damn.
And they are also one per person.
It's like the deodorant at CVS.
Okay. The one per person makes sense. Same with like I would have imagined if you're trying to conserve, I would have hoped the blind bags were like X number behind the counter kind of thing.
Sean would want like a CVS situation with his comic books. Like if the Wednesday books were all in glass and nobody could touch them.
I definitely wouldn't because I don't want to have to do that much asking for someone to help me get my books.
Isn't that so embarrassing though when you have to do that? You have to like press the button.
I'm not going to any store that has that. I'm not doing that. That's insanity.
I had to do that because I was going to a concert and my pits stank and I needed deodorant. And I had to be like, excuse me, Mr. Dwayne Reed worker. It is
the Old Spice, please.
No, I was getting the fucking cheapest shit. It was one done.
Rel YT says it does feel slimy as fuck, but why are retailers not allowed to profit from the value of their products? So I understand what you mean by that. Why can't the retailer be a participant in all of this speculation and everything else? And I think for me, the reason is that they have a responsibility to their community. Retailers in the comic space are not just stores that you go to buy stuff. You walk into Best Buy and every Best Buy is essentially the same because it's a massive corporately owned franchise business. Every comic shop pretty much is independently owned and has a community that relies upon them exclusively to get their books. So if the person or people behind the counter are more invested in profiting and maximizing the profits the way you're suggesting, what you have is an alienated fan base. And how many people just stop going to your store when they can never get these comics? Yeah. When most people who go to comic shops just want to read books and don't care about selling them.
I've even heard of some shops maybe pulling stuff out of people's polls.
Oh, nah.
That's fucked up.
You're like, oh, sorry, I couldn't get that one. It was too hard to get. Meanwhile, he sold for $20 earlier.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's like shade. That's how you get me to never go to that comic shop again.
Yeah, because if you did that to somebody else, I'm gonna be a victim at some point.
Yeah, like I had a comic shop I used to go to where like I asked him to pull something for me and he forgot to pull it. So he was like, hold on, this guy, he never shows up. And he just pulled it out of his pull. And like I benefited from it, but I kind of felt weird about that,
Yeah.
Cosm and Milkbone disagree. Milkbone says retailers are for-profit for-profit businesses. That's their first priority. Cosm says, I don't agree. The bookstore has allegiances to stay. I don't agree. The comic book store has allegiance to staying in business and their family who lives off of it. Yes, but what you guys don't get is that it's symbiotic.
Yes.
It's not one way. Best Buy will survive without you.
Yep.
Comic shops won't. So if you alienate your comic shop, you're actually hurting yourself. How many times can you afford to put not even 50, the $20 you can make off of Raw Narcos #1 over the audience who patrons your store every week that now stop going because of your shady tactics? It's not a one-way street.
Yeah.
I can go somewhere else.
There's a relationship. And because it's so personal, it's you and the guy who owns the store making those choices. I'm not talking to Mr. Best Buy himself about the amiibos and stock, like fuck it, I got fucked. I'm talking to the guy who's making these orders at a comic book shop. And as soon as I know like that relationship is dubious, I'm out. And I was yes, that 20 they might have made $20, but they lost $24 based on the polls I would have had that week. So knowing that balance is like they can't be shady. Sure, some of these big ass comic book shops could maybe be a little shady. That's why I don't buy from them.
Yeah, I mean they have to consider more. They have to consider their audience more than they consider speculation. It's just a fact. Look, I'm not even gonna have this conversation anymore, other than to say go watch the deep dive we did, or go watch any video about what happened in the 90s to comics. If you don't understand why that's bad, history is over there.
Or at the very least, if we're thinking of them as, let's say, selling it for an upweighted price, you have to remember that they bought it at whatever the current price was to sell at the cover price, and so they're not being their families aren't being affected because they had originally budgeted that in. That's already in the calculation. The $20, $15 on top is greed. That's the distinction.
Yeah.
Chris Coleman with the TED spot. Thank you, brother. Chris the Cure Coleman. If my LCS started to bump up issues the week after, I would have to move on. I'm lucky that my LCS will put something that they think I will want aside from me. See, that's the kind of role that almost all LCSs play. So you can't say, oh, well, they need to maximize their profits because they have to eat too, but then also have them be the kind of place that Chris is describing. And the kind of place that Chris is describing is the kind of place that is able to sustain itself through any kind of time because they have loyal customers. Stability versus instability.
Yeah.
All right. This is a situation that we are going to see play out over time. So I guarantee this will not be the last time we have this conversation. But what I will say is that if you want to beat this for yourself, find an LCS you like, start a pull list.
Sorry, Sean, you're saying start a pull list?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've told you guys a million times. I started a pull list on my LCS.
I know, they fucked you.
And I cannot get the books the same week they come out. That's psychotic.
You get them like Friday or Saturday, right? Because they have to fulfill so many different polls.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work for the show.
Exactly. I wouldn't even do that if I didn't have a show. I need to read my books and have them in my hand on Wednesday.
Bro, you're on the internet at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday getting spoiled. Like, I can't wait till Friday to read my books. What do you want me to be, a fucking Luddite for the half the week?
Yeah, no way. No way. Yeah, Heroes makes a great point. Comics are very niche and LCSs live off their base. Turning on that base will never end well.
Yep.
100%. And we already know it doesn't work because we've seen it happen. None of this is new.
Very straightforward summation. Good shit.
We've got a lot to talk about today, guys. There's a lot on the docket. Oh man. Chris Covers Comics said, Sean, have you told them you're important? You got to give them that "Do you know who I am" line.
You got to be like, yo, I know that What a Boy Wonders guy that people like in your shop.
Word. I got to start dropping his name, huh?
Yeah, for real.
C. Stevens says, my pals, nice seeing Fireborn. I edit that and Lost Fantasy too. I own the shop in Philly, and any shop that chooses profit over customer care will get their karmic dose in the end. Chris/Lighthouse.
Oh, hey,
Yo,
dude.
thank you so much for saying that. That's exactly right. Thank you.
What shop in Philly? I like checking out the shops in Philly. Philly
Word.
had some good shops.
And he owned it, so no
Owned
one
it, yeah,
does.
okay.
Yeah. But still, what's up, Chris?
Sean, have you tried just whipping your dick out at your shop? Not like literally, sorry. But be like, do you know me?
Absolutely not.
You should.
Yeah, I do it
You
all
should
the
start
time.
you should
They
start
ignore
signing
it.
books. Just be like, oh, I was the letterer assistant on it.
Imagine.
Oh yeah, I have a byline on that cover.
Yeah. I started selling comics. I started signing all the comics and magazine issue ones.
Robert says, "Yo, by the way, since I talk about sponsoring the series before you announce the street level book club, if Daredevil Bendis wins, I will sponsor the second half of that run.
That's wild.
This feels like gambling.
That
Didn't
would
we
be
do
sick.
a good chunk of it?
Did we? I don't feel like we did any of it. Bendis Daredevil?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. The
Oh,
Brubaker.
it was Brubaker. That's what
We
it
did
was.
Brubaker.
And we
yeah.
only did Devil and Cell Block D.
Yeah.
C. Stevens drops 20 on us. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Chris. Enjoy the weekend, pals. Love seeing all this comics palaver. Keep it rolling. We will, brother. And you keep it rolling. You enjoy your weekend and have a great one. And thank you for your contributions to the conversation.
Should we talk about that, Sean?
Should we talk about what?
Lighthouse?
What is Lighthouse?
Tyrant?
Oh, this
That's-
is Chris.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God. All right. Yeah. Absolutely, we should. So
The next thing we're going to talk about. So
yeah. So we told you that we were planning to have a massive April. And we weren't kidding. I almost want to post our schedule so you can
Yo.
see how crazy this month is going to be. So crazy that right now we have 2 announcements about interviews that we're going to be doing this coming week. The first one is going to be happening this Tuesday. This Tuesday, we're going to be speaking to what I would say are 2 legends in comics. We're going to be talking to Stephen Bissett and Jim fucking Rugg.
Hell yeah.
I didn't know his
dude.
middle name was fucking. That's pretty cool.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Marco, I know you must be losing your mind.
I'm pumped, dude. I've been reading shit. I've been fucking looking back. I've been looking at the art that I have and being like, should I ask him about this? No. Should I? No.
You're getting a little shy on this, Marco?
I'm getting giddy, bro.
Bro,
This
you're
is
going to be... Go ahead.
2026 is turning into like the year Marco's dreams come true. We had 2 Swamp Thing book clubs. We're not even halfway through the year.
The Swamp Thing artist, the Alan Moore era Swamp Thing artist, to come on the show. Amazing.
You're going to be losing your mind. You're going to be lead chair on that one, I imagine.
Yeah, bro. I'm already drafting out questions.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm reading it tonight. That's my plan. I'm going out to a party and then I'm gonna drunkenly read this tonight. So I might have to read it again tomorrow.
So not only can you see us speaking with Bissett and Rugg this Tuesday, next Saturday, we finally are having on a guest that we've been talking about having since earlier eras of this podcast. We will be joined by Leah Williams.
Let's go.
I gotta ask if her editors know about the Rainbow Dash situation.
Yo, I wanted to talk to Leah Williams forever. This interview's gonna be fucking fire. I love her book Voyeur. She did a crazy good job on Exterminators. That's a woman who knows how to have fun writing her comics, and I can't wait to dive in with her on everything that she does. This is gonna be cool.
I have a new game I want to play, and I think she'd be game for it. I haven't talked to you guys about this,
Okay.
but
Hell yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
And then, this is an announcement that is hitting the palace for the first time. We have a community that is dedicated to helping each other learn to write and draw better, to improve their work. Just a shared group and a workshop type thing. I love that. That's something that I'm deeply passionate about, but it's organic and been made by the community, not by me. What I went and did is I got a friend of ours to come on the 19th of April and talk to our group, talk to our workshop. And that is none other than Dirk Manning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dirk's going to come on. He's going to join the Discord. He's going to give you guys a talk. Remember that he wrote the book Right or Wrong, which is one of my tomes and Bibles when it comes to the nuts and bolts of not just how to write comics, but how to have a career in writing comics. Everything, stem to stern. So I recommend picking that up as a primer for the conversation we're going to have with Dirk, but that's going to be on the 19th at 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, dude. I
Cool.
saw that post come up from Steve, who's been organizing in a Discord. I said, oh, immediately linked to that bad boy because it's a huge resource to what Sean's saying. It's everybody should be reading that. It gets into the nitty gritty, even some of the things you maybe not even thinking about now, contracting, just like protecting yourself. There's just it's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, 100%. I'm super hyped for that. I will be there for that. And if you are not a part of our Discord and that appeals to you, join up. It's completely free. Everything that happens on there is free.
Yeah.
So, but the theme for this month, which we announced during the book club, is street level Marvel. We are taking it to the streets. Daredevil season 2 dropped. Daredevil Born Again season 2. Street level Marvel is all the rage right now. And we are going to be spotlighting that all month. And the book club is as well. The nomination threads are up. Nominate your favorite street level book. The top 4 will make it to the Patreon poll. And then the winner will be the subject of our next book club, which will be taking place on the 28th, I think, of April. Or maybe it's the 27th. We'll tell you more when we know. In celebration of that, our top 5 for the month is our top 5 street level characters. Now, I wrote top 5 Marvel street level heroes without spider people.
Yeah.
If you guys are cool with that, I want to amend that slightly.
Ooh.
I want to say top 5 street level characters without any Spider-Man anything. So no Green Goblin, no Shocker, no Spider-Man villains whatsoever, and no Spider-Man heroes whatsoever. Does that work?
Not only does that work, I didn't have any on my list anyway.
Perfect. But that also gives you the ability to include villains if you want to.
And DC?
No,
Or
just
still
Marvel.
Just still Marvel. Okay.
And villains.
And I know one that will change for you for sure, Tyler. I have to imagine. Because it changed for me.
Oh, yep. Yep. That's my number 5.
Mine too, dude. So go ahead and speak on it.
Parker Robbins, aka the Hood, introduced in the Brian K. Vaughan Marvel Max series, is such a good character because Marvel is the world outside your window, right? And what's more outside my window than a guy down in his luck? And normally, if it's any good Marvel tale, that down on his luck guy would gain some powers, give him some great responsibility to maybe save people. Not Parker Robbins. He was given he stole a cloak that was the demon flesh of a demon, which gave him invisibility, magic bullets flying, and he decided to become a crook. And through that, he destroys some relationships. He makes some bigger ones. He makes something of himself at the expense of the people he cares about. And I think it's such a damn good story. And Parker Robbins is such a flawed character that he's not only like one of my favorite street level characters, he's probably one of my favorite Marvel characters. And I like that they've continued. He's been kind of out of the game for a little bit, but they've continued that going forward. So yeah, I love the Hood. He's great.
I echo everything Tyler said. I think they should use the Hood more. One of the most interesting organic kind of character rises that I've seen. I just love that dude. And the idea of a guy who has demonic magic powers but also shoots guns. It's like, do you really need the guns? Why not? Fuck it, guns.
Or a farming.
What do you got, Marco?
Talking of guns, my number 5 is Punisher. Very straightforward. He deals with bad guys. Like he cleans them out, and that's his MO. And does so with very little uh very little care. Like he is the ultimate judge and executioner there. To the point, the Punisher, right? Like he enacts that, and so yeah, number 5, action packed.
Hell yeah. We will continue to give you our top 5 throughout the month, but we want to hear from you guys. Who's in your top 5? Hayden's Hideout has his laid out already. Number 5, Moon Knight. 4, Punisher. 3, Luke Cage. 2, Daredevil. Number 1, Iron Fist.
Huh. Lin Lay, the Iron Fist?
I see people talking about Immortal Iron Fist and whether it counts. I haven't read it. Maybe it shouldn't count, but it will. Why? Because Iron Fist is a street level character. And so, therefore, I'm making the executive call that all of his stories count. Spider Man is a street level character. All of his stories count, except for Spider Man 2099. Like, it has to be, our Spider Man.
Yeah. Immortal Iron Fist is kind of almost like a fantasy Kunlun set thing. So it isn't. If you're gonna ask me if it's street level, no, but I think it counts to this because like when else are we gonna have that as an opportunity, you know?
And I really just don't want to have like so many people have already nominated it. I'm not going to invalidate that.
Sure.
So if we read it, we read it, and I would love to because I've only ever heard praise.
Good team.
Yeah.
Is that
says, yeah?
Is that team going to be on 2 options?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. All right. You know what? We haven't spun the wheel in a little while. Let's do that. Let's get a wheel spin in there.
You can drink now, Sean.
No.
Damn, it was really close to becoming a Marco's minute.
So
Thank
close.
you.
Gotta get more. Gotta get more.
Andrew Dunson dropped 199 on us and said, I heard some shops are doing Squid Games for number 1. Imagine.
That's fucked.
That's dark, dude.
Imagine dying for White Sky.
Right. Yo! Yo, imagine dying for Tiger's Island.
Whoa, hold on. I can't.
Well, Voltage Punk will die for Tiger's Island. My man was dying to get on that island.
Whoa.
I said I ain't going to nobody island. Nobody island am I going to. Pete Collins of the Bardic Verses and Summit Comics drops his 5. Moon Knight, Luke Cage, Hawkeye, Daredevil, Punisher. Cool. Loving it. Loving it.
Bit of a spoiler. Punisher's not on my list, but yeah, I am seeing a lot of people being big Punisher fans.
Mm-hmm.
B. Mitch said Ben Urich. Oh, you're a real one for that. You're a real one for that. Daredevil, Moon Knight, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. Love it. All right. We got some news to do. Oh, no. Before we get to the news.
You got a question?
Yeah. There's a Patreon pal question. Marco, you want to hit that?
Yeah. So This is from Just Unseen. How do the pals deal with tackling their comics backlog? I often feel pressure that I'm not making enough progress on my own and was curious how y'all deal with your individual backlogs. You know what, Just Unseen, thank you so much for the question. It's something that we all struggle with as comic book readers, and especially as comic book readers with tenure. Frankly, I look at my stack, I look at how it grows week over week, and I despair. I despair. I bend to the altar of it. The immensity of its weight, just so close to falling into my lap and me picking up a book. Then I go, there's a new Batman issue actually. Let me go read that instead.
I'm I buy very little physical books, so those will always get read pretty much immediately. And my digital books means I don't have a physical stack. I don't have something weighing down at me or staring at me, so it's a lot less daunting. Sure, I can scroll, and once I see that scroll going by itself, I'm like, oh boy, hold on. But for me, like I can then alphabetize it there, so that when I'm reading through, I'm getting each issue that, like, say I might be issues 2 issue behind a Batgirl. I'll just knock those out right away. And for me, like I set aside time during the week to just go to my nearby coffee shop. I sit down, the girlies in there got some good music playing. It's usually like they had Bjork playing the other day. Love some Bjork. And I just read. I read till they had to tell me that they were closing one time because I was just sitting there reading.
Shit. Dude, I cry. When I think about, dude, I don't even want to talk about how long of a backlog I have.
If we were to zoom out Sean's camera, he's actually on top of his backlog. He's on the stack right now.
That's why the green screen is behind me, because literally behind me is just a stack of comics.
I thought
You
there
guys
was a
saw the
piano.
Stokoa?
I thought it was a piano, Sean.
You're right. That too.
Oh, got it. That's why you can't
yeah,
play the piano. There's comics inside of it. It's a mess.
Yeah. I have a massive backlog that is way too long. I have no thoughts about how to tackle it. I just try not to think about it too much because it will make me feel insane. So what I'm saying is I'm with you, Just Unseen.
Do you think you would feel as insane if you couldn't see it? Like if it was digital, if you just had it all on an iPad, you think it would be more manageable? You'd be able to get through it quicker?
The size of my stack doesn't prevent me from from getting to it. It's just sad how big it is. Like,
Oh,
I
look at me. My stack's so big.
I don't even know, like it's years long.
CW Gordon
Yeah.
says, if I'm that far behind on a book, I just stop reading. Sean, how many issues are you into Monstrous, and how many have you bought?
Well, I bought every single one that's released. So you're
Sick.
talking about 10 years or so.
Yep.
So 4
And
issues. A little comic book humor for you guys.
and I think I probably read like the first 20.
Cool. Boy.
I'm embarrassed. I don't like talking about this. It's not a good thing.
Yo, it's one of those where it's like CW Gordon said, he stops reading. Yeah, but you don't stop collecting it, bro. Because oh, I swear, one
We
day
just talked about
I'll get to it.
speculators and shit. And people like, oh, these people aren't actually reading the comics, but I am.
But this time I'll definitely get to it.
I think this is a benefit of digital. I can't really see the mess I made,
Yeah.
but also I'm mobile with it. I could just bring it with me. If I'm at work, I got downtime at work, I'm going to read it. If I have downtime at, sometimes like I'm in my car, not like during traffic or anything, but like I just got someplace, but I got some time. I got there early. I'll read an issue. I do like the ease that digital has.
Easy Big Love is people speculating they'll have time to catch up one day.
That's
That's been me for a decade.
Yo,
Is there
actually,
like a
though,
book that you just like, man, I really, really want to get to it. I'm just having trouble.
Monstrous.
Yeah.
Saga. I have all the issues because I've
Dude,
have subscribed on
Saga,
Comixology.
such a weird thing to say. Saga's being slept on. It's still as good as it always was.
Hmm.
Yo, Shu Patel said sponsored book club is the only way Sean reads Monstrous before the show comes out. What show, first of all? Second of
The
all,
the animated show. It got greenlit.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, dude.
amazing.
It was like the same week that Powers got announced.
I missed that. That passed me by. That's beautiful. If someone sponsors Monstrous, I will be forced into reading it.
Yeah. I would also love to talk to Marjorie Liu.
Oh yeah,
She's
Yeah,
very like eloquent with how she talks about comics.
she's smart.
And it's just like, man, this person knows shit. Like this person's smarter than me.
Hey, it's Kefis, my rival. On Brand says disagree. What does he disagree with? I have no idea, but I probably said it.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
To be Bopper says my backlog is all trades and OGNs.
Mine is a bit too. Like so since I read alphabetically, sometimes occasionally I'll start reading like Amazing Spider-Man, but it's not the current run. It's JMS's run. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh, okay. It's more JMS stuff. So yeah, I got a lot of back. Like I really want to get back into the original Howard the Duck run and reread that.
Oh,
Man, it's hard.
Kefis does not agree that Saga's still good.
Oh,
Or
he
still
disagrees with
as good.
me.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Wow. Well, it's
Here's
okay.
a-
We can't, all have good taste.
Here's a bigger shocker, Kefis. I agree with you. I think the book lost a step.
people forgot about it.
Yeah, too long. Too long. Not that the series is too long, just that the hiatus was too long.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the news. Reborn Ultimate Impact is the immediate follow-up that we're aware of to the Ultimate Universe ending, whatever that nets out to mean. We're not really here to have that conversation today. What we're here to talk about, though, is that we have seen a few more of the characters that will be getting powers as a result of the origin boxes from the Ultimate Universe. Originally, we saw the new Wonder Man, who's a black dude named Vin Lerner.
His name is what?
Vin Lerner.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We got, but now we've got some new ones. Hostilicus, the Scourge of the Negative Zone.
Hostilicus?
Yeah, that's the one we saw. We got the Glenn Danzig haircut.
The fuck?
We've got Hostilicus. We've got Mogul, who it seems like there's some type of maybe Sidorak energy, maybe a
Yeah.
Juggernaut tether there.
Yeah, it's the gem of Sidorak in his chest, it looks like.
Yeah, his tagline says nothing can stop him now, which is obviously Juggernaut. Like that's a Juggernaut illusion.
Yeah, yeah. And in it's the DK Ruan Ultimate Impact cover, you can see the actual heroes are referencing and Juggernaut's on there. So
Yeah. And then Sightseer, her tagline is seeing is believing. She very, very, very much resembles the current Miss Marvel. Behind her, you can see like all kinds of nasty, spacey Cthulhu stuff, and that gives me Doctor Strange vibes. And on the cover that Tyler referenced, you can see Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, are on it.
I think the Captain Marvel on it is for Hostilicus, actually. Because I think that's cosmic space energy that Hostilicus is getting with negative zone stuff.
Mm.
And this one would be specifically Doctor Strange. Do y'all care about this?
I don't care that the designs are so like derivative. That I would wish if we're
by
doing
design.
by design, sure, but like I would hope that uh I have something to be able to distinguish them more, because I'm also thinking about what happens when they're on a page. It doesn't feel like they're as original as much as they are, hey, we're gonna smash these things together, and that should pop you, right?
I mean, it probably helps that Wonder Man himself is never in books, so you can throw this other Wonder Man in, and he'll be fine. He won't be clashing with anyone else.
Except for the
um,
fact that Wonder Man has a new
yeah,
series.
I haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah. And then like this sites here showing she got the engineering goggles on. The
Yeah.
Warcraft engineering goggles. um,
Steampunk type shit.
yeah, I think it's just because they're so derivative that I just don't really care. The mogul one is interesting. I think its design is kind of um, but the idea of like mogul, that means like industry, that means like capitalism in my eyes. Nothing can stop capitalism. I think it's like a character who will be like the never ending force of the ongoing movement of capitalism. That's how I see that. What, who's writing this book? It's
Chris
shit,
Condon.
Chris Condon. We'll see what Condon can do with that. But like they are derivative by design, so that kind of bugs me. Were these characters that were supposed to be in the Ultimate Universe eventually that they realized they never had like an analogous version in this run so far? I mean, there was a Doctor Strange kind of character, right? In Ultimate Black Panther,
Yes, yes, yes.
who gets got pretty quickly. But like we don't, I guess she never got a box. She just had the fashion sense of Doctor Strange. I don't know. This is a wait and see for me, but it's not getting me excited.
So Chris Condon did an interview with a comic source, and he talked about the origin, if you will, of the origin box characters. And he starts by talking about how he turned it down. He didn't want to do it. And then he was approached by Tom Brevoort and Nick Lowe. The reason why he didn't want to do it is because he didn't have space in his schedule. But then they approached him at a retreat and they sort of like said again, hey, do you want to do it? And so here's his quote. As a committee just started throwing ideas around about power sets and things like that. And so that was really the only part that had any input from anybody else. Everything else was kind of just, what do you want to do, Chris? And so I kind of went away and I picked what I thought were my favorite power sets and what I thought would be interesting to play with. What if we do a spin on this and a spin on that? Just push things into interesting territories. Um, that's exactly what I didn't want. I don't want homages. I have 0.0 interest in homages to characters that are still published. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Juggernaut. We already have a Juggernaut. This is the only fucking play in Marvel's playbook when it comes to developing new characters.
We have two Juggernauts right now. We have the X-Men one. We have Kid Juggernaut, who's pretty prominent whenever they do any kind of kid-led books. We have how many Captain Marvel homages? Like literally, we have Carol, we have Kamala, we have fucking Quasar. Like there's like five of them that are in space somewhere. And Doctor Strange, there's a new Sorcerer Supreme every week, it feels like.
Yeah, dude. To that exact point, and I think even the especially the Sorcerer Supreme point, like, what is what is the impact that we're trying to drive here for a book called Ultimate Impact? Like, we're not, dude. We're literally saying these are the stuff that you're familiar with, that we can kind of roll over into you, and you're gonna eat it up, as opposed to here's something that's gonna shake it.
Also, how does a box contain the powers of Doctor Strange? He learned that. That's not a power. Like this, that is through studying.
His power is insta study.
That makes no
And
sense.
that happens a lot, and it makes me feel like Marvel doesn't understand the way their own characters' powers work.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was not born like that, and he wasn't given the powers.
Yeah.
Juggernaut wasn't born like that. He was given the powers from a gem that actually exists, a material object. I don't. HJM Jr. says let's not bash it before we read it. I'm not bashing the book.
Yeah.
The book itself hasn't released. I have no thoughts or commentary on the book. I'm strictly talking about the way the concept of the origin boxes is being implemented. And I don't like it. I want original ideas. If the power set happens to be derivative, that's okay. That's going to happen. Like, there's only so many elements that actually exist. There's only so many combinations you can do. But when you're telling me that not only is the power set derivative, but the color scheme, the costume design is derivative, you're basically selling me a color palette swap, and I don't want that.
It's a Marvel rival skin.
Yeah, this Wonder Man is just a black Wonder Man.
I say turn
Why?
Simon Williams black and don't ever explain it. Yeah. We talked about, when we were talking about the main topic earlier, like the absolute Batman's raising all ships, right? We didn't bring up Marvel at all.
Marvel's fucking sinking its own ship, dude.
No, they're fucking playing the kiddie pool.
Yeah, they're splashing.
The
water's warm over here.
Here's the thing. This book could be good. Based on the creative team, that is a good creative team. And I like Chris Condon, and I want to see what he can do at Marvel outside of Ultimate Wolverine, because that one really wasn't hitting for me. But I know he has the capability. So I will be reading this. We'll be reading it for Pals Polls, definitely. So I'm excited to be surprised by this. But based on what we have now, pitch, everything like that, I don't see the point of this. And this doesn't even seem like a real... Like, what tether does it actually have to the Ultimate Universe? None.
The
boxes.
Shit.
Which were brought in, right? They weren't even of the universe. They were brought in to sort of make those heroes.
They're adding blind boxes to my in continuity stores now too. Damn. Imagine pulling one of those out like, damn, I got fucking 3D man's powers. Shit. Fuck.
Fuck, I got beak. I'm ugly.
I knew you were gonna say beak, dude. Yeah, dude. I don't know. The more like the Weapons of Armageddon book, for me, I've enjoyed it. I like the way it's doing this same sort of thing organically. There's a mystery and a conspiracy attached. That feels like story. And again, this is marketing we're discussing right now. But the way this is being rolled out is the most uninteresting thing I could imagine. I'm not actually interested in any of these people because I don't know the fuck they are. How is that an enticing teaser? I don't know who they are.
You're not excited for what? Herculus? What is the fuck his name?
Hostilicus.
Gesundheit.
Man, I don't want to get on here and not be excited about Marvel, dude. I don't enjoy this.
You know what? I'll say something positive. They're bringing in, they're reintroducing some diversity here. You got, who is this? Not Hostilicus, Greek, Vin Lerner.
Do we know he's Greek?
Surely the name.
Are we saying?
Assume. Surely the name.
Stavros Hostilicus over here.
Exactly.
Marco, keep the bit going. I want to hear this.
We got a woman getting introduced with glasses. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's some diversity right there.
Yeah, we got some accessibility.
That's right. And then this old man. We're not ageist at Marvel.
Nope.
We're not at all. They're going counter. That's the impact. They're going counter to what everyone else is doing. They're reintroducing diversity into comics.
And not only that, it's a white old man who have been historically targeted this whole year, past couple years. The white man has been hurt. It's nice to see the white man back in Marvel Comics.
That's right.
Love it. All right, Marvel. I know I'll be seated for Reborn Ultimate Impact #1. But will it get me to rise out of my seat? We don't have to wait too long. This issue 1 will drop in May. Chris Condon, Stefano Caselli. 5 issues they have.
Good team.
To redeem the way we feel about the Ultimate Universe's end.
They have 5 issues, Sean?
Yeah.
Ah, so it's an ongoing.
Uh, um, let's spin the wheel.
Uh-huh.
Let's get that done.
Was that like a Mickey Mouse? Oh.
Uh-huh. Marco, give me a minute on Mickey Mouse now.
I couldn't tell you the first thing, except he got a girl called Minnie. She got a. Not gonna see that.
Whoa, okay. We can give you a minute in a second, but I was doing trivia with my family on Wednesday, and one of the questions was like, who is this character? And it was Oswald the Rabbit. And people were like, who the fuck is this shit? It was like, what character did Walt Disney create before Mickey Mouse? And I'm there like, yeah, and I know his girlfriend Hortensia too. And I'm like, damn, my fucking special interest just started showing.
Is that real?
Yeah, Hortensia and Oswald the Rabbit. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Marco's minute on the powers he would most like to get from an origin box.
Ooh, I got this one easy. Okay. I've always liked the idea of cartoon powers in that like, very much Wile E. Coyote, Hanna-Barbera type like silliness. So I would be impervious to damage because I would just get flattened, you know.
Yeah.
I would be I'd be able to run really fast until there was no ground, and then I'd be like floating and I'd run and float.
Don't look down.
Don't look down, exactly.
Yeah.
I can fly as long as I don't look down. I got stretchy. I'd be able to get stretched because I'm being, pulled for some sort of bit. So all of that would culminate in like this OP kind of ability to battle, but also ability to be impervious to most attacks, most interactions. I would be a boon on any superpower team because I'd be able to, in a very goofy way, save the day or save other people's lives. That's the power.
There is a character that has his power set in Marvel. You could get his ultimate box. You can get the slapstick origin box.
Slapstick?
Dude, slapstick rules. I love slapstick.
I haven't seen slapstick in an age. Jesus.
I think the last time slapstick was around was he had a mini series a couple years back when Marvel was doing like they did like Night Thrasher. They did fucking Darkhawk. They were giving everyone these little miniseries, and Slapstick had one. That was pretty fun.
Cool.
Jay Sage says, bro just wants to be Luffy.
True, bro. True.
That is kind of his power, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
So, there is a new DC and Marvel crossover on the horizon. Last week we got the Superman Spider-Man crossover, which was a big deal. We know about the new one. And I hope that Kefis is still here because I need him to hear this shit. I need him to hear it, and I need it to soak in right now because Bleeding Cool has scooped the fact that the next crossover between DC and Marvel will be Supergirl and Blade.
Oh shit!
Now,
Hey.
it is digital.
Yeah,
it is digital. Just like the one they did with Flash and Fantastic Four and Thor and Shazam. Now let me ask you guys a question. What could the correlation between Supergirl and Blade possibly be?
Snow bunnies.
Well, if I were Blade, be some jungle fever going on.
Man, you gotta get the next time you get the lineup, you gotta have them sharpen it out a little bit for you. Get the blade.
We know Supergirl is about to be the star of the summer. She got a movie on the horizon. So why team her up with Blade?
Huh.
I believe Kefis and everybody else who doubts me that Blade's movie, this is the clearest sign we've had that Blade's movie is still coming, and Marvel's so confident they put him in the crossover with Supergirl. How about that shit, Kefis and everybody else?
He's still here.
He said, grasping at straws, Sean. Grasping at straws.
Nope.
Sean, this feels like a little bit like Cope. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting Cope on this one.
So you tell me why they teamed up Blade and Supergirl.
Because why the fuck not?
What? But what do you mean? Why? Why do it?
Because there's a planet full of vampires.
Oh, in Supergirl.
Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Just make one full of vampires.
I don't know.
Aaron Ruiz said, "I don't believe it myself." That's where you're wrong. I don't get on here and say shit I don't believe. I believe it wholeheartedly. I think that Blade movie is absolutely coming, and I think that this is a clear sign. It's not copium. I believe in this.
I like how
I believe.
in the process of all of this bet, let's talk about all the things that have happened since this bet. We've got a Supergirl Blade crossover happening. We had Blade Red Band. So Blade finally come back to the comics. Okay, all right, cool. We'll get some recognition going for the character. Let's do an event with Blade in it. Blood Hunt. Well, now he was on the Avengers too. And then all of a sudden he's not really anywhere. But wait, let's bring Wesley Snipes back in Wolverine Deadpool. All right, there's some Blade recognition again, even though it's not Marshall Ali, but he's back. Okay, he's gone in the comics again. No more book. But they also just announced, Sean, Blade will be appearing in Jed McKay's Moon Knight.
Yeah, Blade is everywhere. Blade
He's up and down.
Blade is hot. And I'm telling you, we're getting that movie. And for those of you who haven't been around long enough to understand what we're talking about right now, I have a bet with Kefis, who is my rival, that the Blade movie starring Mahershala Ali will release at some point. Okay? I don't care when it happens. And Kefis says it won't. That's it.
Question. If they do a Midnight Suns movie, that doesn't count.
No, it has to be Mahershala Ali, and it has to say Blade in the title.
And it has to be a movie. It can't be like a Marvel special event situation.
It has to be a movie. The terms of this are set in stone. Kefis and I have agreed. The loser owes the winner an omnibus. And with the prices of omnibuy going up, I'm getting worried about this bet.
So we're trying to find any little angle we can throw in there to stow some doubt.
At this point, by the time the bet's over, you're going to be able to get the other person a Hush 2 omnibus.
I don't know that that's the case because I don't know that that's ever going to be over.
Yeah.
This bet might be
there's
longer
the bet.
In the tooth than Hush 2.
There's the bet. Will we ever get a resolution on the Blade movie, or will Hush 2 finish?
I would take that bet. I wouldn't take action on that one.
Oh, not that we have to add more gambling to fucking comics.
Come on now. Let's go. Blade is in Marvel Rivals, and he's getting his own game. Come on,
is he getting his own
November.
Game?
Maybe.
Hopefully. He is in Marvel Rivals. You ever play as him in Marvel Rivals? That's not really your jam, right?
Yeah, I played Marvel Rivals like twice.
Dude, you should play with us. We got it on the Discord. More reason to join the Discord because we even do like game hangouts. Even though fucking Voltage in the Rivals Discord be gooning on all the characters he plays. He only plays women characters.
Of course he does.
Fucking creep. You don't even think he knew it. He didn't even know I was on the show. What the fuck?
He's just like, that's that guy I goon with.
Oh God.
How the fuck you get on the Discord and not even know the show exists?
Wait, no, he knows the show exists. He just didn't know you were the Tyler from the show. Just like he didn't know I was the Sean from the show. He didn't believe it. And then once he heard it was really me, he started to want to know what time I go to my LCS and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I still have hope. Call it cope, call it what you will.
Oh, I heard you pronounce that as hope, but I thought you meant cope.
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Hope. Big hope. Capital H.
Big hope.
Are you Dominican, Sean?
I don't believe it.
I happen to be Dominican, yes. Dumb in a can. I am that, yes.
He said it, not us.
Hopefully that answers your question, Near. All right. Boom Studios is in trouble. Maybe. They fired a bunch of their staff. last week, 2 weeks ago. Um, and it's getting weird in
Hmm.
my mind. So they restructured and brought on new people to work for them. They got Michael Kelly, who's going to be their VP and publisher. They got a whole bunch of people. Names no one is going to really know, but these are people who are talented and work in this industry, and they do good stuff. But we've also lost a lot of people that they hired not that long ago. Kwanzaa Osajefo Johnson is no longer the executive editor at Boom. Archaea rather, is also gone. He said on social media, Archaea got folded. My role caught a fade. The run was less ongoing series and more prestige miniseries. I got to work with smart people, make fun books at one of the biggest publishing houses. More important, who's ready to hire a triple threat: storyteller, strategist, and innovator?
Hey, let's go.
I love that. Um, Boom is Boom is going through a restructuring, and we've talked about the struggles that they have had of late. What is going on at Boom, dude?
I don't know, man. It was always one of those like, within the top five, top six. It would fluctuate, but more recently, maybe the books haven't been hitting. I can't tell you the last time I feel like I've seen, even before all this stuff and like the slowdown, a boom title that would have popped off.
Yo no sé.
I mean, they haven't had that I can think of, and maybe we're wrong, but I don't know that they've had a hit in some time.
What was it? It was Grimm was the big one.
Oh yeah.
They're doing something is killing children still, right? Is that Boom?
Yes.
They got the Swamp Thing one coming out. Married Heretic, is that Boom?
Yeah. I don't know how it's performing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a hit. It's a hit here, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But just because we
Oh
have
yeah.
taste doesn't mean anything.
Minor Arcana has been off of that, which I have picked up.
It's funny,
But like,
a lot of the number ones, like a lot of the number ones that are coming out of Boom, even though they're under the radar, I've been enjoying more quality wise than a lot of the Image number ones. Um, so it is kind of a bummer to see this shift behind the scenes.
yeah,
Um, because I do like Boom, and I think Boom really fills a niche that I think is needed in comics. They fill a very good, like, adult YA kind of bridge
I see that.
that I think is necessary in comics, and they've been good at like showcasing a lot of female talent. Teenie Howard writing Married Heretic. You have Stephanie Phillips on Grimm, which was big. And then all the stuff with like Tinian and his crew in the Something Is Killing the Children universe. That's where Tate Brombel kind of jumped out too. So I think that it's been it's been in my eyes more of a incubator space than Image has in the past couple year or two.
I agree with that for sure. I just feel it's interesting because they they're out of the loop with all this speculator buzz and everything else. Like they missed the boat, it feels like. And
Yeah.
that's a lot of money left on the table. And it's not necessarily their fault, I guess. They couldn't predict that we would be in this moment. But I just feel like Boom has not been, you know, they haven't been relevant. Like, yeah, Power Rangers. They've got Power
Us.
Rangers, but that has been doing pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like they tried it with the absolute version or an ultimate
Yeah.
version of the Rangers, and that died on the vine. They just don't have any big names attached to those books anymore, and the quality has dipped.
yeah.
I
They
feel like
lost that momentum, like
yeah.
especially the Power Ranger stuff because that was huge when it came out. There was such a resurgence about it. That was all like the Higgins era stuff, and it has fallen off since then, which is a shame because that was the big title that still has some staying power, but it feels like that IP just doesn't stick.
I mean, I'm looking through the solicits right now in the next couple of weeks. There's some stuff there. I think Power Rangers is in a weird spot. I'm not a Power Rangers guy, but like I feel like that shit is always relaunching or rebooting somehow. Rita Repulsa gets younger and younger every time I look at a new Power Rangers cover for some reason. But like the Hello Darkness stuff has been good for them. They kind of jumped on the bandwagon there with that horror anthology type stuff. Um, I guess spoiler for Palace Pulls this week, but we're gonna be picking up Neighborhood Watch, um, a new number one from Boom. So there is stuff there, and there's still like Wind is there, which is it's pretty well known. I guess they have the Garfield rights there. Um, but yeah, it's not. I pretty much just named all the books as I'm going through this.
And like them existing is cool. I know Boom still publishes books, but what's the penetration?
Right. Yeah,
Pause.
exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't feel to me like we're really hearing about any of these books. Something is Killing the Children is outside of comics by now. But
Yeah.
like and full credit to Boom for that and obviously the creative team. But that was years ago. Right now, today, it just doesn't feel like they have the hot hand that they once did. I was feeling like Boom was publisher of the year a few years ago.
Mm.
So it's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah,
Bit
dude.
of a bummer.
Berserker is another one of those that all only just like continues to get pumped out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the only other title there. Actually, I'm looking at this. The Fade, was a book that my fiance started to pick up for like the first time ever. She loved it. Super super cute by Abria E. Yenger and Maria Costa.
Oh,
Then only made it to 2 issues. It got
Brutal.
canceled at some point because like they started culling titles, so issue 3 and 4 are never going to come out.
yeah. Abria is one of the Critical Role people,
Yeah, so she's doing
and
that.
yeah. But that's a Boombox book,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Boombox is so in the weeds right now. Boombox was great. That's where I believe like Lumberjanes was big. Remember
yep.
Lumberjanes? It was the vinyl something. There was like a vinyl book about like just like four teenage girls, mystery in the town. They hang out at a record shop. I remember there being a lot of stuff there, but like the Fade has 3 and 4 solicited, but the release dates are TBD.
But that's been for at this point over a year.
Yeah, yeah. So these things are just in the wind.
Yeah, Giant
Um,
Days was another one.
Giant Days, which is a huge one. Yeah,
Col-
Boombox really falling under is a big whoopsie.
Coltrane makes a good point. They haven't been the same since Philip Sablik left. No coincidence that Ignition Press is rising.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Oh, that's a great point.
And
Good point.
that's why when we had him on, I was talking him up as a genius because he really was the guy who brought Boom back in a major way. It was him and his team. Absolutely. Um, Kurt Wildshut says, I think the wider industry context here is important. Indie comics have been in a shaky spot for a couple years until right now. We're seeing the reverberations in Boom, Dark Horse, etc. Yes, and we've been reporting on that, and I've been saying a lot that the indie books are not hot. Um, because they haven't been. And you can see it from the fact that no big creatives have really announced anything new of late, other than Tynan, but he's in a league of his own at this point. I'll believe that indies are back when top tier creators are launching new series with confidence. Kieran Gillen launched Power Fantasy last year, never sounded confident. No disrespect, the book is obviously excellent, but he
Yeah.
was very, very worried about the state of the marketplace.
Yeah.
So much so that he was having almost existential crises, like honestly, and talking about it. It's like, oh, should I have done this? Should I have done that? Marketing and all that, which I think of the transparency of it is actually really nice to see.
Yeah, I appreciated it for sure.
And like the other thing we got to remember, Diamond really fuck these independent publishers to the point where is there a link in Boombox not being a thing and Diamond that I'm remembering where was Boom in bed with Diamond for a good chunk of time?
think they were also one of like those last publishers to let go, I feel like.
Because I know they're
If
Penguin Random House currently.
I remember correctly, they were one of the once Marvel and DC left, they were one of like the VIP, whatever Diamond called it, one of their like top um publishers
Yeah.
that they built the new Diamond around, and obviously we see how that went. Um yeah, I mean, look, every publisher has been affected by Diamond. There's no doubt about it. You're absolutely right to bring that up. I guess the extent to which they were impacted, it's very hard to specifically say. But dude, there was just a news item that didn't make the show that Diamond was holding people's fucking property, and a judge just ruled that these publishers can't get their stock back.
Yeah.
Which that
So
fucks over indie people who were like just trying to publish through Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Mm-hmm.
horrible thing. That's
Yeah.
terrible. And by the way, Neighborhood Watch, someone asked what the creative team was. It is Sarah Gailey Haining on the art and Rebecca Nalty on the colors.
Yeah. And did Mariam Heretic end at issue 5, Sean? There's something solicited after that.
I haven't read issue 5, but I didn't hear anything about it ending.
Damn, got the Marvel treatment.
But issue 5s are typically when you'll see like, oh, here comes the trade.
Yeah,
Then...
good point.
All right. James Tynion is bringing the Bodega to comics. What is a bodega? Not what James Tynion is bringing to comics. So James Tynion, Bryce Gold, and Courtney Menard. So Bryce Gold, you'll know from he was actually on this show. He was the head of Kickstarter for comics at a point. He dipped from that, and then
a week after he was on the show.
Yeah, kind of been in the wind since then. And he's here joining this Bodega Comics thing. It's a nonprofit organization that, quote, states it is dedicated to supporting and sustaining comic and graphic arts in Brooklyn and the greater New York area. Courtney Menard is a cartoonist, production director, illustrator, printmaker. So she can do a lot for them.
Yeah.
But Bodega is also going to be bringing us a new Comic-Con, a Brooklyn Expo of Comics, a 2-day comics festival taking place on the 14th and 15th of November, which I believe crosses over with Thought Bubble.
Cool.
That's not a great thing.
Yeah, but they're completely separate sides of the world. So
yeah,
creators will now have to choose where they're going to go. BEC states that it will spotlight exceptional comics talent from New York and around the world while sparking newfound appreciation for independent comics and zines. The festival will also feature a varied slate of panel discussions with leading creators and industry voices alongside a convention where over 100 artists will showcase and sell their work.
Two things about this. Oh, go ahead, Marco. Go ahead.
I think it is cool that there is an attempt being made to capitalize on the potential influx that people are seeing of comic book readers, the increased interest in them, the relevance, the need for the physicality of it as well. And so I think that has probably driven a lot of this, is that there's probably an audience now. That I think it's hard from the outset to expect a large income. Like there's not income, attendance, right? I think you have to sort of measure your take because this is gonna be the first time that'll happen. I'm excited. More comics, more places to connect with creators. It being indie is an interesting way to start, but it would make it a little bit more difficult. I'm thinking of, like SPX in DC, that this is sort of the analog to this.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, like I really like the the thought behind it. I think that's great. And I think like New York has a lot of these though. Like I just went to Mocha last week with Mocha Fest, which is the Museum of Comics and Cartooning Art. They have a festival every year. There's a lot of, independent indie artists from all over the place. You have your Abrams books there. You have your Fantagraphics, all that stuff there. Silver Sprocket just went under, but they were typically under there as well. But then you have like your Brooklyn Comics Art Showcase, which is yearly. The next one coming up is this month, which is in Industry City typically, which is a lot of fun. You get a lot of the same people that are there though, and then you have the it's like a French name, Le Diassance or something like that. Comic indie art showcase as well in New York, which I think is in like May. So I like the idea of this, but the indie part of it is like New York's got a lot of fucking shit for that. And like, no offense, it's a lot of the same artists every time, and like a lot of the same creators. Occasionally these things will have like a special guest creator, like a Stan Sakai or someone might show up. But the people you're going to the Thought Bubble are not the same people going to this. You're not getting a Bendis here. You're not getting you're not even getting someone like a Kelly Sue with these things. These are a lot more print focused. You're getting a lot of more anime influenced stuff. In terms of like, it's mostly comic art, and I don't really even see that many comics. It's a lot of zines, which is cool. And I enjoy that. It would be cool to see them carve out a niche for themselves, that those 3 other conventions that I named that came all around the same season of the year, and do something a little different. This is going to be in November, so at least the timing is outside of that. So that helps, but I really need to see what kind of separate carving this does. Because I do a lot of the stuff already.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. First of all, I want to say what's up to a VIP. Wonder Maddie is in the chat. She says, "Sup, nerds." What's up, Maddie?
You talking
Maddie
just
put
to
me
Sean.
on. I know, right? Maddie put me on to we watched Full Metal Alchemist together the other day.
Oh, bro. Wait, which one? Brotherhood or Full Metal?
Brotherhood.
Hell yeah, dude.
Whoa, Maddie. You can't be turning Sean into a weeb. Not on my watch. What are we doing? No, Marco.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Michael Jordan.gif.
That's my favorite.
What?
Yes, we watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood together, and dudes, I fucking loved it. She put me on.
No, what are you doing, Maddie? No.
It's good shit, bro. That's good shit.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yo.
Now Sean's gonna be like, yo, Sean, call me Sean Goon from now on. Like, it's
No.
How far along did you get, Sean?
We watched the first 4 episodes.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I
That
saw
shit-
the dog girl, which was horrifying.
Oh, that happens in the first 4? I know what that's about too.
Yeah. It was episode 4, actually.
I know all about
You're
dog
in the
girls.
know. You're in the know, bro.
Mhm.
I recommend you keep going. That's good stuff.
I am definitely gonna keep going. That shit is amazing, dude. Episode fucking 2 was insane, bro. The origin of those kids, man. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But chat is popping for this. Apparently, there was a book club and I missed it.
Just like two
it, like,
weeks
just
ago,
happened.
maybe?
Yeah.
Or last Saturday.
Manga mates.
Which I think Hayden might have actually recorded, if it is, so it might be in the Discord. If so, thank you so much.
Wonder Maddie says end anime goals to get Sean a monster. We're trying to get him on Monstress. That's
What's Monster? Is it good?
Is that the Harry? Was it the Barry Windsor?
No, it's a great Gaga song.
It actually is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means in the anime space, but yes, I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood was perfect for me. It's exactly the kind of anime that I wanted to watch if I were going to watch any. And I am in. So will I continue beyond this show? Stay tuned, pals. What I will tell you though is that this announcement from James Tynion and Co. makes me feel a little strange. So What is a bodega? Well, according to this new nonprofit, it is the Brooklyn organization dedicated to the endurance of the graphic arts.
Huh.
That's a stretch and a
Uh,
mouthful.
it is a stretch 'cause you got to be a contortionist to make that shit work.
Yeah,
They
they
came up with
put effort
Bodega
into it.
first.
And doing all of that to take the name and the concept, because it's not just the name, it's what the name represents, what a bodega represents, what that is. This, for me personally, as someone who has never lived anywhere else, feels like appropriation.
Oh,
It feels like you're taking something that is unique to a certain, sort of identity and then making it for, not us. And that feels shitty. And there is nothing in this about how this is going to help or impact the people who even use bodegas in the first place. I remember there was a conversation going on the other day. Well, what's so important and special about a bodega? If you don't know, it means you don't live here. And that's okay. It's okay not to know the difference and why it's a cultural thing for New Yorkers. But it's a cultural thing for in my opinion, for the New Yorkers who have always been here, lived in core New York, not some fucking offshoot, and really lived a life. Because that doesn't feel like what this is, and there was nothing in it talking about actually helping minority creators, I have very little space for this in my interest level, especially because it's happening right after New York Comic Con and it's happening during Thought Bubble, which feels so inconsiderate. I would have much preferred this to take place during the summer.
Mm.
Hopefully it helps creators. I'm always pro creator, but this feels a little icky.
I will say the types of artists and vendors at these type of events, if I want to use the other New York um, expos and cons as an example, are diverse. You do get to see like a lot of like black manga inspired stuff, which I think is rad as hell. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, Sean. It kind of reeks of, and like, hey, I do not live in New York City. I'm New York City adjacent. I'm a Westchester kid, which brackets derogatory, I guess you can say, but I'm at least aware of the fact that like this kind of reeks of like Brooklyn transplant. Like even Brooklyn Expo of Comics, BEC, no New Yorker says BEC.
Yeah.
It's bacon and cheese. Like the fun of it is saying it that quickly.
Yeah, as one word.
If I I'm never going to a bodega and asking for a BEC. Mostly because I mumble and it might sound like I said BBC. And then there's about another issue we got going on there. But like it just feels like I went to Brooklyn College because I lived in Buffalo, New York. And I stayed here because I got a job at a startup.
Yeah, it's a very deliberate and forced way to attempt to integrate, to attempt to integrate into the space that it's trying to enter, but it hasn't lived up to the community aspect that it tries to draw from. Bodegas are it's gonna be your local store, right? Like you're gonna walk up there because you're hungry, you're hungover, or you're still out for a night, you got a rally, and this hasn't earned that space quite yet. So we're just using the familiarity. We're using the location to ground us, to say, no, 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 we're in on the conversation.
And at least they have a community outreach manager, Paloma Hernando, who, going by name alone, it at least sounds like she's Latina. I'm assuming gender and pronoun here. My bad. It's not in the article. I don't know it. But yeah, it feels like there's a lot of white people on this. You know what I mean? Like not that it can't be, but if you're gonna take something so ethically charged as the name Bodega, it would be nice to see that reflected in the people running it.
I'm getting hot on this subject Everything James Tynan does is white as fuck. Everything he does
He
is
went to
white
Sarah
as
Lawrence
fuck.
College, Sean. Of course,
I know,
that's
which is why this feels like appropriation to me. And people in chat are saying I'm gatekeeping. Don't fucking come at me with that, because the reality of the people who live near bodegas and have historically is fucking awful. If you don't know about it, you don't. Like I'm gatekeeping the using the name bodega as the name of an organization. That's gatekeeping. Come on now, please.
yeah.
Let's
You're not
be adults.
gatekeeping the actual concept of this.
Yeah, that's dumb. Let's be adults. I have no control over what they do. I am a commentator on YouTube talking about how I feel about something. And I am telling you that I think this is appropriation. And it feels shitty. That's how I feel. Everything James Tynan does is white as fuck, and this feels just as white and not for me. It does not feel targeted at me in any way. And I am a core New Yorker who's been here my entire life, who has always frequented bodegas and know what the word means because I actually understand Spanish.
But Sean, where else are you gonna get your comics the Aki way?
Yeah.
So I should not hit the submit on the table request for the con.
Oh, I saw it, dude. I have it. I have it loaded as well. That's so funny.
Yeah,
Goofy.
it also feels like in the design of it all, it feels very Zoran coded.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, fuck it, it's trendy. It worked. But yeah, I'm with you, Sean. I don't know. Did you see my thing where it's like it feels like people thinking the Myrtle Ave, Checkers, Dunkin', Popeyes is a
Oh, yeah, I
meme
saw that.
location. You know, like
Yeah.
they got 5 of those in the Bronx. Like,
Dude, I've been to the picture you shared. I've been to that exact Popeyes. And you want to know what's happening in that area that no one talks about when it's a meme? Is all the fucking homeless people
Yeah.
and drug addicts that are on that block. That's the part of New York that you guys don't understand. So when this shit comes up, you think it's sweet. It's not a game.
but also, Sean, why are they homeless? Because the apartment buildings in that area have now priced those people out. They cannot
Yeah.
longer live there. But you know who can live there? Somebody
Transplants.
who went to Sarah Lawrence College.
Yeah. Like if you don't understand the actual realities of New York, then you cannot possibly understand what I'm talking about. That fucking Joker shit where he was dancing on those steps, that turned that place into a fucking tourist trap. And let me tell you something. That's not a place that should be a tourist trap.
That's a trap.
Yeah.
It does feel like gentrification in our space. And like we got rid of the one white guy on the show for this reason.
For this exact reason.
Yeah.
And you know what? That community outreach manager ain't outreached to us.
Well, we need the motion detector first. I will probably be going to this no matter what. I do want to at least see what because it's free, first of all, which that is nice. I think that is a thing that we haven't really mentioned. Going to this thing is free. Which is better than a lot of the other conventions. I paid for Mocha last week. I paid $25 to get in. Which that is prohibitive for people. The $25 to get in is prohibitive. The fact that this is free and people can just from off the street walk in and experience this, I think that's actually great. And I will give them credit for that.
Show up live from the event.
Yeah. I hope that it ends up being great. I hope that all my concerns are irrelevant and that the actual event proves me wrong. I really hope that's the case. I'm not actually desperate to be mad. I love James Tynan's work. And I think that this could be good, but it feels bad.
Sean's going to be there making sure he's going to see how everybody walks on the sidewalk. See if they're real New Yorkers. Like, I don't think you should be going in there.
Cole says, respect you guys for standing on business. Yeah, bro, I don't come on here to lie. I don't come in here to lie. I don't care what chat says. I don't come on here to lie. I'm going to tell you what I think. And if James Tynan was on here, I'll tell him that too. And we can have a dialogue about it. It doesn't have to be hostile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny though, because you did mention like, oh, it's everything's white with Tinian, and like, let's be real, we enjoy Tinian's work.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, but like, I'm thinking of like Nice House by the Sea and all the flashbacks to all these mostly white queer kids living in Brooklyn, and I'm like, okay, you're writing what you know,
Fair.
but you got to see the optics from the outside of that bubble.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And I'll leave it there because I think that's a good point, and I'll just leave it there. And this is funny from Victor Di Giovanni made me pop. What if this convention is half homeless people? Will that make it more authentic and appropriate?
Yeah, I bet they can make great comics.
Yeah, hell yeah. And whatever. Let's spin the wheel. We all a couple wheel spins. Then I'm gonna read a new origin from my buddy Jamzilla. Then we're gonna play the GOAT game, and then we're gonna get out of here. You guys are not free yet.
Ooh,
Can the Comics Pals get off live on a Saturday in under 3 hours challenge?
highlight a book. Who wants it?
I haven't read anything non-rebirth in an age.
I could do a quick highlight actually. If
Do it, because the only thing I've been reading is X-Men.
Black Cat, the newest issue. She comes back to our world after being in the negative zone for a bit, and she's dressed as an emo girl. Why are you doing that, G. Willow Wilson and Gleb? Why would you? She has like a Taking Back Thursday shirt on, and she's like, "Why am I dressed like this?" And I don't know if that was previous for the next one. I don't know. I saw the art for it. Black Cat's a really damn good book, but they are baiting people with this book.
Yo, they baited me. I bought that fucking Mary Jane Black Cat fucking Venom.
It's a good book.
Cover.
It's a good book. The last arc was her and Mary Jane had to go back in the negative zone for this this high security like bank vault that was the negative, like that's how high security is. They put it in the negative zone because somebody found a really shitty audition tape that Mary Jane did, and she was embarrassed about it. So she called in a favor. It's goofy fun. I recommend that book.
That's cool. I'm definitely gonna read this issue.
Oh, damn it! Andrew Johnson's right. I should have said African American cat. Sorry. Fucked up.
That's crazy.
I fucked up.
Yo, I'm telling everybody right now. Here's a PSA. You better call me black. You better not call me no damn African American. I ain't never been in no damn Africa. Play with me like that. Cosmic November says, no joking, really enjoyed the mini New York deep dive. I could listen to this for hours.
It would actually be really cool to go to like all the comic centric landmarks that are throughout New York City.
Yeah.
Like do like a walking tour. You can go to like the original Marvel Studios. You can go where like Kirby and stuff used to be. I think the Kirby Museum exists. You have Mocha. Isn't there like a Captain America statue somewhere? I believe.
Yes.
Or at least being in the
But not
process of
here,
being made.
no?
No, I think they're making one. I think that's where I saw an alert for because he's from Brooklyn. That would
You
be
go to
actually
Yancey Street.
we can go to where like all the stuff was inspired by. Ooh, this is actually once I become like a retired old kook, that might be a great little side project.
Oh, you know what? It's in Liberty View Industrial Plaza.
Oh, it exists still.
It exists.
Okay.
It's in Brooklyn in Greenwood Heights. Oh, the statue. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to see that.
That'd be cool.
It's amazing.
Just being able to be like where
Oh.
original Marvel offices were too, and like this is where Kirby and Stan Lee started making shit. Like that's rad.
We spun the wheel. We owe one more.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You want to lie to Marco, Sean?
Uh-oh.
Man, can we spin again?
All right. You want to be good to Marco. That's fine. Does Marco have
local?
Does Marco have a minute in him? Give him a New York
Another
minute.
one? Another one?
Oh, a New York minute. I love it. You got that in you, Marco?
I can do that.
All right. On you.
A New York minute.
I could do that. Can't do that. I guess talk
I'm
about
trying to think of experience.
yeah, talk about I don't know, reading comics in New York. What is that like? Because you're a subway reader.
I am a subway reader. Yeah, you know what? It depends the contents of the book because there are times where I'm reading, a normal. Well, I was reading Bizarro Year None on the train, right? And I was falling asleep to that, that's fine, right? That's okay. But there are other instances where in the past I've read something from Saga or like a sex scene in a book, and I've had to kind of like slightly close the book
Like
so I can still
like
kind
Gen
of read
Z.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I don't want to I don't want to showcase full on boob and bush to like random people on the train. Um,
Coward.
and and it's hard because the other thing about it is where you do it. If you're sitting down, that's easier versus if you're or it's harder versus if you're standing because if you're standing, I can kind of like hide it in a corner. And so that's a very New York experience. Don't drop it because if that shit hits the floor, I'm not picking that back up. That's gross.
It's got like fucking cum and crab leg shavings on it.
Oh God.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of things on the subway. I'll take cum and crab for $5.
Easy Bake Love is it. It's art though. It is art, but not everybody got to see it. I've one time for reading the what is this? The God Delusion. It's a book. This one dude just started to talk to me, and he's like, "So, what's that book about?" I'm like, "It's kind of on the title." I'm just trying to read. I got my headphones plugged in. Oh, so you don't believe in God, huh? I'm like, dude, I'm
He
getting
got you by
home.
the fucking title.
Yeah, he looked at it. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to get home. I don't want to talk about this right now. He's like, yeah, that's what an atheist would say. I'm like, all right, dude.
Oh, fuck that dude.
I'm like, let me just go home.
Do you ever see that
Um,
guy that where he reads like books on the subway, but they're like he photoshops fake book titles?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's like how to eat pussy for dummies. Like he was
That's
reading
it.
that openly on the subway.
And shout out to that's a Richard Dawkins book, God Illusion.
Well, I'm an atheist, but Richard Dawkins is kind of a fucking asshole.
Can be.
Also, I think he was in the files.
Oh,
Oh, unfortunate.
the 5G files.
Unfortunately, not.
Electrics with the 50. SEK, love for maybe one more wheel spin. Uh, you know what's so cool about these? Just getting to know you a bit more. Love it. Thank you so much, Electrics. That doesn't trigger a wheel spin, but it does trigger my heart to flutter just a little bit. Thank you. All right, let me shout out the rest of our lovely pals and get to a new origin. Stick around, don't go anywhere. The GOAT game is imminent. Thank you to Amin, the Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid Murphy, Young Dende, Faith Fighter DeWoody, Cosmic November, who was with us, Carter the Owl Shogunate, Steve Swarm Canaris, Scripture, the Wardens of the Word. I've seen you in the chat. Jack of some trades, Cloutier, Krista Cure Coleman, who's been supporting us today, Emperor, MD Johnny, Mad Max Pliskin, Lieutenant Earl Wagnus, the Death Dealer, Jack, Grimstone, Grimmy, Eli, the Mothman, Patrick Zay, Captain Chris, Ray Lytle, Super Jop, and Into Gray. But getting their origin today for the very first time is Jamzilla, the Party Monster.
Oh,
Joy is slipping away. The world seems to fall further into chaos every day, with nothing to counteract the slow, creeping crawl of insanity. Monsters lurk behind every corner, their only intent to corrupt, pillage, and destroy. In a world such as this, what could tip the scales back in the favor of good? A motherfucking party!
Let's go.
It was the rager of all ragers. People who were there say it was the most unforgettable experience of their lives. For one night, the citizens of the city united for a block party the likes of which the world may never see again. The host, known as DJ Jamzilla, must have worked some kind of arcane magic to make this possible. The city was shut down for blocks. People bought food, drinks, and good vibes with them. And the really amazing part, it went off without a hitch. It's almost as if evil took the night off, allowing good its moment of respite. Or so they thought. It was deep into the night. Jamzilla had people on their feet, moving trance-like to the beats. How they still had the energy for this kind of dancing was anyone's guess, but it was a beautiful sight. The kind not made to last. The sounds of the first blast dwarfed the music blaring on the speakers, bringing the revelry to a swift and sudden end. Fear and panic were now in the air. A large group of hooded men approached the stage where Jamzilla was DJing from. The look on his face told a clear story. These men were trying to ruin his party, and Jam was pissed about it. Jam never stopped the music. Instead, he turned to the men who had their guns drawn, dropped the volume of the music just slightly, and spoke the words that will remain in the minds of every person who heard them that day. Nobody kills my vibe. Now everyone would see why he was the party monster. He began to lurch forward, grabbing at his stomach. He groaned in pain, then he violently threw his head back. Then he lowered his head, met the eyes of the men who looked on in astonishment, and let a sick smile cross his lips. His body began to rapidly expand, tearing through his clothes with ease. He grew taller, wider, and more muscular by the second. At the same time, his skin began to turn a purplish color. He was undergoing some kind of transformation. But into what? Now a tail began to rip through and out of his back, and by now, everyone was horrified, but nobody moved. The music still played, and the people were stuck, unable to look away from this gruesome sight. The men started shooting, but Jam opened his mouth wide, unrealistically, cartoonishly wide, and let the bullets go into his gullet. In one massive gulp, he swallowed them. He hissed, then he picked up the microphone again and said, "Let's jam." He inhaled massively and let out a big breath toward the grouped men, spraying their bullets right back at them. Let the music play, you won't get away. The lyrics sung loudly on the speakers, but not loud enough to drown the screams of the men who ran for their lives, terrified by the purple monster. The now 10-foot tall Jamzilla jumped off the stage and spun, his tail thwacking away a dozen of the men in one swoop. Jamzilla was having the time of his life. And why not? His plan worked. He threw a massive party in the heart of the city, hoping exactly this would happen. His chance to show the world that it had a new protector, one who would beat the bad guys and play badass beats at the same time. And although he was a scary sight, the partygoers felt comforted by his presence. Under normal circumstances, they probably wouldn't. But he looked so cool, and the beat was so good. How could they do anything but party? Thanks, Jamzilla, and I hope the party never stops.
Let's go, dude. Yo, I was at that party. I remember that moment. That shit was crazy, bro. To be honest with you, bro, I was
your parents were there too.
I was tipsy, bro, but that shit was crazy. And then after the cheer we all gave, hip hip, unts, unts, unts.
Yeah, Spotify has been recommending me to listen to Satisfaction by Benny Benassi a lot lately, which I don't want to listen to, but that's what I was hearing while you were talking about this party.
Satisfaction.
Yeah.
Nice.
I want to go to the party.
Bro used bullet seed.
The pea shooter?
That's so good.
Hey, if you want an origin of your own, the only way to get it is by joining the Palsverse at patreon.com/thecomicspals. Click the join the Palsverse tier or higher, and you will get an origin like that of your own. I apologize that we've been tardy on these. All my efforts needed to be on the deep dives, but now that that's over, we are back in effect. So there's only one thing left to do. Let's play the GOAT game.
Oh, did I get it ready? Of course I fucking did. Of course I did. Where's my shit here?
Jamzilla. I like that it
All right.
transformed into a monster. That's cool.
Which one of us is it going to be?
Hopefully not me.
Just Tyler.
Well, you fucking jinxed it, Marco, because it's not just Tyler. It is Tyler and Marco.
Fuck, dude.
Yes, I get a break. Let's fucking
Sean
go.
gets a break. All right.
Bro.
Who is it going to be?
Oh, is this the vote or the GOAT? We didn't decide.
The GOAT.
All right, we're doing GOAT. All right. Okay, Marco. Sean. Why is Blackagar Boltagun the greatest of all time? Black Bolt.
Yo,
You shouldn't have said Black Bolt because then I would have been fucking confused, bro.
I know. I gave you a bit of a. Well, he is Black Bolt. The character's Black Bolt. Do you want me to go first, Marco? You want to go first?
I got you. 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 Okay. Let me know when my time's ready.
as soon as you start talking, brother.
Black Bolt is the GOAT for being one of the most powerful people in the Marvel Universe, the most powerful Inhuman, and constantly vying for intergalactic power because that's his shit. He's a king. He deserved that king status, and so he has powers commiserate to that. So strong, in fact, that should he utter a single word, that'd be the last thing you hear. And that's why he is the GOAT for his status, for his ability,
Oof, oof.
for the very fact that he leads a kingdom, and he got a cool ass costume, bro. He got a cool ass the little antenna, that little antenna, so he can communicate telepathically
Oof, the
with his
antenna.
girl,
Yep. The antenna.
with his.
Time.
The antenna, Sean.
Yo, DW Gordon popped the fuck out of me. He said he said African American Bolt. That is definitely going to be the funniest thing I hear today, dude. That's phenomenal.
Yo, CW Gordon, I mentioned her right at the end. I didn't get a chance to call her out by name, but I said his girl.
Wow, you're just relegating Medusa to Black Bolt's girl. Wow.
African American Bolt.
Sorry. Blackagar Boltagon is the greatest of all time. Not only is you gave Marco a minute and I got 45 seconds.
No,
he
I cut him off.
Oh, okay. Hold on. All right, never mind.
I'm gonna start it over.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, just 1 second. Okay, go.
All right, Blackagar Boltagon is the greatest of all time. Black Bolt, leader of the Inhumans, king of the Inhumans, member of the Illuminati, friend of the Fantastic Four, is possibly one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. Just being able to speak alone can destroy world, that he has to use sign language to do it. He is the leader of the Inhumans and constantly fights with the Krees, who have unceremoniously experimented on the Inhuman race to create the Inhumans. And due to that, they've had a lot of troublesome interactions. He's a Believe Jack Kirby creation, one of the coolest designs in comics, with a tuning fork on his mask, not a fucking antenna. And has some great friends like Medusa, Triton, fucking Karnak, all that stuff. Man, I got more to say about Black Bolt. It was hard getting it in 45.
I was thinking, like, I know Tyler could probably do a fucking like 10-minute dissertation on Black Bolt.
If I had the ability to prep for it, I'd do it in sign language.
That would have been another level. Holy shit. Now the poll is up. Who sold you on Black Bolt being the greatest of all time? Is it Tyler? Is it Marco? Or is it neither?
Remember, I mentioned the antenna.
It's not an antenna, it's a tuning fork.
What did he need a tune? He barely talks.
You think a tuning fork is for musical tuning, like a guitar?
You hit the little ding.
I guess you could do it for that, but you're only getting certain tones.
Jay Sage says Black Bolt was my favorite character at one point. Then I realized I wasn't really introverted. I just had crippling anxiety. Yo.
You saw yourself in Black Bolt?
I think you're right, bro. Like, I've always thought I was an introvert, and then more recently I realized that, like, oh, I have an anxiety issue. And maybe, I mean, I get on here and you wouldn't think I'm introverted, but when I'm not on here, I don't even like to talk that much. Maybe I'm just anxious. Maybe that's what it is.
Could be.
Damn, JC said I voted neither, but I should have voted Marco.
You should have. You should have.
That's crazy. Hero says Tyler's making up words to confuse Marco. Don't fall for it.
I won't, bro. I won't. He said Tony.
Marco, what you fuck with Terrigen?
Oh, dude, I did some last week, bro.
You high off that Terrigen, bro?
Yo, that shit got me misty.
Smoking on that Terrigen pack. All right, I'm gonna end this poll because it is just a fucking landslide. If you haven't gotten your vote in, get it in. You've got a few seconds left. I don't think things are gonna change. But there it is. I ended it.
Andrew Johnson says should have done Black Bolt in February. Hey,
We were too busy doing Alan Moore, an actual marginalized person.
if only Black Bolt was a February exclusive, he'd probably get more play.
There. Tyler wins 57%. Marco 26%.
Yeah. Marco, suck my dick from the back. God dang.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
what?
Whoa.
What? Hold the
Yo.
fuck on. Where are all my pause warriors at? All you people always throwing pause around at me. Did you hear what this man just said?
Yo, where's
On
the
me.
soundboard? Where's the soundboard? There it is.
Sorry, I got a little too heated on that one, guys. I apologize. Marco, you don't have to do that. That was not an invite.
It sounded like an invite. It sounded
said-
like a demand.
I was
said,
trying to
"Come over
trash
real
talk.
quick."
I was trying to trash talk, and I think I got a little too in it.
A little
It's not my forte.
a little excitable.
Yeah, from the back is probably a little much.
Don't even reach.
It's yeah, exactly. Yeah, trouble.
Yo, I can't.
I was trying to trash talk guys, but I don't have the aggression to do it, so it just sounds a little zesty. Apologize.
Yo. Chat. Look at chat. Wait. Where's my fucking...
There we go. Salsa Ronan says I'm in the corner of my office in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Yo, oh
First
my
time
God.
trash talking, kind of nervous.
Ooh woo.
There's this one girl I follow on TikTok where she just plays NBA 2K and she does like the one-on-ones. It's just some white girl and she's trying to get her trash talk to be good. And she's good now. She's like fucking with people. But it's still pretty funny.
Yo, you shut it down, Tyler. I
Sorry.
have no more words left.
You ain't ever heard something about dick from the back?
Of course I've heard it. I've
Okay.
said it, but I didn't expect you to say it.
Yeah.
To Marco.
I miss Bodega boys. Bring back the real owners of the Bodega name, Bodega boys, Desus Zamero.
Oh my God, bro. Look, you guys know we cut up on here. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. This Tuesday, we will be speaking live to Stephen Bissett and Jim Rugg. That's going to be an incredible conversation.
Huge.
Thursday, we'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern for Pals Polls. If you want to know what we're going to talk about, watch Pals Previews, which drops Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then before you know it, we're right back here live on Saturday at 10:15 a.m. with none other than the incomparable Leo Williams.
Chris, I'm sorry. But also, Chris, that's on you.
Come on, bro.
I'm listening to this to speaker with kids around. Come on.
This ain't the show for that. I love children. Children are fantastic. I would not let a child listen to this show. And that makes me sad.
Children
But
are
it
our
is what it
future. Like,
yes. Oh, I love you guys so much. We will see you all week long. Let's make April amazing for our community.